It was on Tuesday, June 17th, that the Tom Sox lost here at First Bank Park 15-9 to the Strasburg Express. That put their record at 3-9 on the season, and since then they are 20-9 in their last 29 games and find themselves pitted back in that same fateful ballpark for the Valley League Championships in Game 1. And I'm Landon Weaver alongside Luke Stefanisco for Game 1 of the Valley League Championships, and the Sox have a chance to cap off an improbable season in the next 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely, Landon. I mean, it is an improbable season. That is the best way to describe the Tom Sox season. The worst start in franchise history, and yet they find themselves in their 4th straight Valley Baseball League championship. And again, it's just an improbable season. The roster has changed multiple times. There's been guys that have no longer been on the team. You talk about Evan Allwine, James Nunnally, Andrew Manley, Preston Gamster, Elijah Williams. Key contributors the Sox no longer have, and yet they are still here. And that's a testament to the resilience and grit and the skill that this team has. And the fact that they are here is a testament to that. And I'm excited to watch them play and try and win another championship for the Sox.
The resiliency was on full display last night in a 5-4 victory that went until the wee hours of this morning at 1 a.m. in 12 innings, and they had to come from behind twice, and eventually the fateful play was a Jackson Soroy RBI single to win the game for the Sox. So starting off for the Sox, of course, is Perry Hargett from North Carolina. Kyle Langley follows behind him. And from JMU, Jackson Soroy in the 3-hole from Maryland. Brock Clayton of Gulf Breeze, Florida. At the DH spot, Patrick Nias of third base. From Gardner-Webb, Anderson French and Hudson Luderman, the Hokies back-to-back in the lineup. Then rounding out is Evan Taveras and Walker Buchanan for the Sox. Starting off on the mound is Josh Osiander out of Western Carolina, and he'll look to hold the Sox out of the score sheet early, but this is a small ballpark, Luke. We've talked about it the last couple of days leading up to the potential that the Sox would come to Strasburg.
Well, yeah, and it has been a big piece of the Strasburg season. They've hit on the year 57 home runs. The Sox have only hit 17. That's more than triple of what Charlottesville's done. So we'll see if that can play into any effect of allowing the Sox to kind of expand out of their normal small ball routine.
The first pitch to Hargett. It's going to go down as a ball. 1-0 now the count. Osiander comes set again. Hargett digs in the batter's box. The pitch. Again, he takes it. That one's a called strike for a 1-1 count. Hargett, a guy that hasn't had his luck of the hitting as of late, had a laced shot that was snagged by, as he swings through that one, by the Culpepper shortstop last night that could have ended the game a little earlier, and unfortunately found himself out.
Probably should have. Evan Escobar was full extension and made an incredible catch to prolong the game to the 12th.
Osiander comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Hargett fouls that one backwards over onto the bordering baseball field behind us, and we'll try that one again.
Talking about Josh Osiander, he hasn't pitched for the Express since July 15th in this season. He's started 4 games, the 1-1 record, the 8.10 ERA in 13 innings.
Osiander doesn't like his sign, gets the one he wants. He comes set on the mound. He'll deal the 1-2 pitch. That one just a bit outside for ball 2. Even count at 2 apiece now. And Hargett trying to work a long walk. Osiander again. The pitch. Fouled off again by Hargett. An early 6 pitch at bat for the leadoff man of North Carolina. There's a bit of energy here in the Sox bullpen and dugout. You can feel it. All the players lined up along the fence as the man on the mound comes set again. Perry Hargett will try and end this at bat. He chops that one over to the third baseman. The throw over to Beaver is in time for out number 1. Perry Hargett goes down, courtesy of a 5-3 putout. That brings up the JMU Duke, Kyle Langley.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tough time for the Sox. Strasburg has a very solid pitching staff and a very solid defensively. I think the key for Charlottesville is to take advantage of the small ballpark. That's what Strasburg has done well. They've played to the dimensions of their field, and they've found a ton of success, especially yesterday against Percival with some key homers, really proving the difference maker to send the Express to the VBL title.
The first pitch to Kyle. He swings and drives that one over to Bolas. The pitch over to Beaver is in time, and that's 2 gone and just as many at-bats for the Tom Sox.
And it's a good job by Osiander to really work the ground ball and manage to give his fielders the chance to field them, get it over to the bag at first in time. solid start for a guy that hasn't really pitched in a while, and rust really isn't showing for him.
Up steps the hero from last night, Jackson Soroy, with a walk-off RBI single in the bottom of the 12th. What will he do here in his first at-bat? That pitch down and towards the backstop for ball 1. Soroy has now got his batting average up to 280 on the season, batting .462 in his 13 at-bats in this playoff. The 1-0 pitch. That one can't locate the zone for ball 2.
As Lucas Cash walks in front of us, he'll be the man on the mound for the Sox. He's been a tenured guy. Played for the Sox back in 22 and 23, and now back here for his 3rd year in 25.
The 1-1 pitch. Soroy taps that one over to Henderson. The throw over to Beaver again in time. 3 straight putouts courtesy of Landon Beaver, and the Sox go down in order. 0-0 here going into the bottom of the 1st. Brady Bowles up to bat for the Strasburg Express, leading off their campaign for another Valley League title. Lucas Cash on the mound, a new addition to this Sox roster. Just 1 appearance on the season, but he's been here the last couple of years in Charlottesville. The first pitch to Bowles. Ball 1.
Again, with Cash, he's had the playoff experience, a long-tenured guy, so he's a guy that you're not afraid to turn to in this situation, even though he's had limited experience with the Sox this season.
The 1-0 pitch to Bowles. That one locates the zone for strike 1, a good pitch from Cash on the mound. Rounding out the Sox lineup, we've got Buchanan in left, Langley in center, Hargett in right, French at first, Luderman second, Soroy at short, and Nias at third. That ball is popped up into the air. An easy catch is made by Walker Buchanan just about 30 feet in from the fence, and that's out number 1.
And a good job by Lucas Cash there. Didn't get the first pitch strike, but managed to work the count and get a lazy fly ball. Again, you kind of, think every ball is going to leave in this stadium because they certainly have a chance, but that one a fairly easy fly ball for Walker Buchanan out and left.
It brings up Paul Austin, a lefty, digging into the batter's box. Lucas Cash will deal in the offhanded matchup with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 1st. The first pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Lucas Cash digging in on the mound yet again. The Sox put up a scoreless first inning, going down in order, courtesy of 3 straight putouts. The 0-1 pitch from Lucas Cash. Austin swings and foul, taps that one over to Cash. The throw over to first is in time.
That is a really, really solid play from Lucas Cash. Again, radio won't do justice what that man just did. That was a play down the third baseline. Cash had to come off the mound and rocket a throw over to first. Anderson French, a nice stretch at the bag to beat a very fast runner in Austin. And now you manage to take 2 outs against one of the most dangerous hitters in the VBL, and Eddie Castillo, and Landon Beaver waiting behind. There's not much relief in the middle of this express order.
It helps having a 6'5" guy with that long frame at first base. The first pitch to Castillo locates for strike 1. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. Strasburg looking to get the game's first hit with Eddie Castillo up to bat. A righty donning the Strasburg jersey. The next pitch can't locate, ball 1. The Tom Sox wearing their road greens with navy sleeves and gray pants. Strasburg wearing their purple shirts with white pants and the Express written across their chest. The 1-1 pitch from Cash. Hits Castillo, and he'll take a jog over to first base for the game's first base runner of the Valley Baseball Championship Series.
And while facing Castillo with nobody on and 2 outs was a good spot, now you allow a base runner for Landon Beaver, a guy who's arguably the MVP of the Valley Baseball League. 13 homers, 45 RBIs in the regular season. Hasn't exactly had the postseason that he may have wanted so far in the 2 games for Strasburg, but you can break out at any time, and the UAB Blazer certainly going to look to do that right here.
Only 1 hit and 6 at-bats for Beaver on the postseason. The first pitch down low for ball 1. Beaver during the regular season batted .354 in just 99 at-bats, including 45 RBIs, and then, as you mentioned, an astounding 13 home runs. The 1-0 pitch coming from Cash. He takes a look at first. Castillo, a slight lead. He deals. That one just a bit outside for ball 2.
And again, people like to discredit the fact that Beaver hit 13 homers just because of the ballpark he plays in his home games, but it is still incredibly hard to hit a baseball the distances you see at this park, 365, 310 down the left field line and right line. It's tough.
The 2-0 pitch from Cash to Beaver. That one a swing and a miss for strike number 1. Cash gets himself in this at-bat.
That is one of the thorns in Beaver's game. He does strike out quite a bit, 27 strikeouts. He's also so feared that teams will walk him. He's picked up 20 walks on the season, so it's a chess match pitching against Landon Beaver.
The 2-1 pitch can't locate the zone, and it'll be a 3-1 count. Big hitters count for a big hitter on the batter's box for Strasburg. With 2 gone here, it is imperative that Cash can find a way to get Beaver out here. The 3-1 pitch. Cash gets his sign. He'll deal. That one's going to not locate the zone for ball 4, and Beaver will get on base. One of the better outcomes, though, you don't necessarily want Beaver getting his bat to ball, so maybe a walk isn't inherently the worst thing that could happen.
But again, you do also face a guy who's had the playoff success this season for Strasburg. Jake McCarter, in 2 games, he's batting .750 with 6 hits through 8 at-bats.
With one of those being a home run, 3 RBIs and slugging .125. Cash will come set. McCarter, a righty, in the batter's box. The pitch. McCarter swings and fouls that one off for strike 1. Landon Beaver at first, Eddie Castillo over at second. Both taking sizable leads at their respective bags. Cash with the ball behind his back, working for his sign. He gets it. Comes set on the mound. He'll deal. Swing and a miss. Cash quickly working in this count, 0-2. And Jake McCarter is down to Strasburg's last strike of this inning. Cash again, looking for his sign. He gets it from the catcher, Taveras. Comes set, takes a look at Castillo. Now back to home. He pitches. Swing and a miss. Cash with his first strikeout of the game, and that retires the Express side here to end the first inning at 0-0. Brock Clayton up to bat for the Sox. The first pitch to him. He swings and drives that one down the first base line. Beaver coming over to get it, and he makes the grab, a little snow cone grab, but nonetheless, the first out of the top of the second.
And I like Brock Clayton using the ambush tactic there. It makes sense, especially with the kind of lefty-favored fence in this ballpark. If Brock could have gotten a hold of that one, might have been able to drive it out for a solo shot and putting the Sox up, but I'll turn things over to Patrick Nias.
Just 300 feet to the foul pole and right. Patrick Nias, a guy that has been a home run machine for the Sox, 3 on the season. The first pitch to him, just a bit outside for ball 1. The pitch from Alciander. Nias takes a strike. 1-1 now the count.
Pat, only 2 hits so far in the playoffs. He's had 15 at-bats through the Sox 3 games.
The 1-1 pitch, Nias swings and cracks that one down the third base line. It'll go foul for a 1-2 count, but that's the kind of swing that you want to see out of him, because if that one finds a fair play, it could be easily a double.
Well, the last matchup here, the Sox had some early success, but then pitching couldn't hold up, and they fell to Strasburg late in the game.
The 1-2 pitch, Nias sends that our way, still foul, fizzing towards the fence.
In that game for the Sox against Strasburg back in early June, it was JT Gibson that got the start and pitched solid few innings. Actually got the highest strikeout total for the Sox of the season at that point.
The 1-2 pitch from Alciander. Nias swings and misses, his 44th strikeout on the season, and that puts 2 outs here against the Sox in the top of the second. Still scoreless here in Strasburg. Brings up Hudson Luderman, who is certainly due for a home run. The Hokie Anderson French, my apologies. The first Hokie in this lineup. A guy that has hit the fence 2 times in the last 2 games. Absolutely fizzing them off his bat. The first pitch to French. He takes ball 1. Alciander with a pretty standard motion out there on the mound. A big frame, however. 6'1", 210. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss from Anderson. As we pick up a bit of conversation from first base umpire, talking about the game from last night against Culpeper in Charlottesville. The 1-1 pitch into the dirt for ball 2. French works ahead in the count, and that's something that we haven't seen a lot from the Sox early on.
And we'll go around the umpiring crew, as just mentioned them. Derek Topp calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Landon Rushlow Schulteis first. Tim Detweiler second, and at third, Steve Williams.
The 2-1 pitch. It's going to take ball 3. French in a big hitter's count. Looking to swing the baguette and hit the ball. As Alciander comes set again, gets his sign. He'll deal the 3-1. French lines that one into the glove of Beaver. He drops it. It's going to be close, and Beaver gets there first for out number 3. So scoreless first 2 innings for the Tom Sox, and it's going back to the bottom for Strasburg. Tom Sox back on defense. We'll run over the defensive alignment again for the Sox. Buchanan in left, Langley at center, Hargett at right, Luderman playing second, French at first, Soroy at the shortstop, and Nias over at third, and rounding it out is Tavares behind the plate. Lucas Cash, of course, dealing for the Tom Sox. Into the inning with his first strikeout, keeping the Express scoreless. He now is up to bat, or up against Brett Mosley, the lefty. The first pitch from Cash to Mosley. Mosley takes a big hack at it for strike number 1. Brett Mosley, the DH today for the Express. As Cash gets his signal and comes set on the mound. The next pitch to Mosley is fouled off behind him towards the Tom Sox dugout, and it'll be a quick 0-2 count for Cash.
Yeah, Mosley and Ole Miss Rebel, and they're going to be certainly excited to get him back after his time in the Valley League. Batted .256 this season with 5 homers, 18 RBIs. Could be competing for some time with that SEC squad.
Got a D3 versus a D1 matchup here. Cash, the 0-2 pitch.
Very good.
Above the zone for ball 1.
Let's work here, let's work.
Cash, a guy from Bridgewater College, versus a sophomore out of Ole Miss. He comes set. Cash will deal the 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped. Mosley stays alive.
Well, we spoke with Nate Schwartz about Lucas Cash when he first was signed to the team, and Nate told us that Lucas Cash was rehabbing earlier on in the season, but since then has been working HVAC and throwing bullpens. So he's been waiting for this opportunity and got his chance against Culpeper, and now his chance here in Game 1 of the VBL Championship.
Cash will come set, trying to cool off the Express after their hot start to the season. Mosley again fouls that one back, and will do it again. 1-2 still the count. Mosley staying alive there in the lefty's batter box. 3 foul tips behind him has kept him alive when a 1-2 count has been put on him from Lucas Cash. The ball behind his back. Looks at Tavares' signs. He gets what he wants. Comes set on the mound. He'll deal the 1-2 pitch. Mosley pops that one up, but it's going to sail foul towards his left.
Both these teams are pretty in need of their starters to give them some length. The Express had to use a lot of guys in their win over Purcellville last night, and the Sox had to go into extras and dip into a few extra arms, including Alex Bingler in their win over Culpeper to send him to the VBL title game.
Cash readies the pitch. He'll deal the 1-2. Again, that one's fouled off, and we've got a very, very long at bat going here in Strasburg.
And credit to Mosley for working this count.
We're now at 7 pitches from Cash to Mosley. And the leadoff at bat of the bottom of the second inning here in Strasburg. Cash gets his signal. Ball and glove now. He deals the 1-2 pitch again. That one called, strike 3. Mosley's retired after an 8-pitch count, and Cash comes on top against the hottie toddy.
Yeah, Cash was fired up on that one, got the spot he wanted and got the call, and hope that's a good omen for the Sox to come. A fired up Lucas Cash pitching with some dangerous intent would be huge down the stretch for this team.
That's going to bring up the Eastern Kentucky man, Jay Douglas, hitting .338 throughout the season. Just .143 in the early goings of this playoff. The first pitch to him. Strike 1. Called by Derek Toff behind the plate with 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. Just 1 home run on the season for Jay Douglas. In that righty's batter box. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cash finding his groove so far today. Looking to retire his 3rd via the K. The 0-2 pitch coming from Cash with 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. He deals.
Very good.
That one just low, and it'll go to a 1-2 count. Jay Douglas gets on board here.
There were some concerns about hard contact with Lucas Cash, especially after giving up 2 home runs versus Culpeper, but he's mitigated it so far. Hopefully he can continue to not really allow much contact.
The 1-2 pitch. That one misses as well, and It'll even it up at 2 apiece. Still one gone here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless in Strasburg. The 2-2 pitch coming from Lucas Cash. He deals. Foul tip behind him. And again, we've got a long at-bat coming. Something that Cash doesn't really want to find himself in. 5 pitches so far in this at-bat. 13 pitches so far this inning, and this will be his 30th overall. The 2-2 pitch. That one just below the zone for a full count. Payoff pitch coming soon from Cash, dealing at the register. The 3-2 pitch from Cash. Douglas drives that one back. Going back is Langley. He comes under it and makes the grab for out number 2.
Again, as I said earlier, you kind of hold your breath on every fly ball. This one a little bit harder hit than the Bulls fly out back in the first inning, but Langley able to range back and make a nice catch, and Lucas Cash looking for his second scoreless inning.
30 pitches now for Lucas Cash. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. The Express, a team that hit 57 home runs this season. Just an absurd number, averaging over a home run a game. Over triple the amount that the Tom Sox hit. The first pitch to the next batter, Eddie Morales, will be outside for ball 1. Morales in the righty's batter's box. Cash, the right-handed pitcher, deals the 1-0 pitch. That one's lined but foul. Just skipping off of that third base line, and it'll be a 1-1 count with 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. Morales hit .294, a newer addition to this Strasburg squad. Just 5 games for him and 1 home run. The 1-1 pitch coming from Cash. That one won't locate, just barely missed, and it'll be a 2-1 count. Morales working ahead. Eddie out of Pasco Hernando Community College. The 2-1 pitch. Eddie drives that one back, and it's going to drop into fair territory. He's rounding first, going to second. The throw is not in time. A fantastic play from the outfield to get the ball to Soroy. And that's 3 outs here in the bottom of the second. Still scoreless at First Bank United Park. Alciander still out on the mound for Strasburg and up to bat for the Sox. Luderman is up, Tavares on deck, and Buchanan in the hole. 7, 8, and 9 in this Charlottesville lineup. to begin the top of the third inning here in Strasburg. Still scoreless after a strong throw from Perry Hargett over to Jackson Soroy into the inning. First pitch to Luderman, a swing and a miss for an 0-1 count. Huddy, a guy that he had a huge clutch play last night, an RBI single to send Anderson French home to tie the game in the bottom of the ninth. The next pitch to him is fouled off towards the Strasburg dugout for 0-2.
Well, you can't forget the Hudson Luderman Anderson French double play in the top of the 12th inning. That was 3-2-3, and it was an incredible play because the ball was dribbled down the first baseline. Luderman came home, and French fired back over to Luderman. The rocket of a throw to get Keani Painter at first.
The 0-2 to Luderman outside for ball one. Luderman, a guy that has been in the lineup since day one in Charlottesville, and now we are into the wee days of July. Still here, though. 1-2. Hudson drives that one over to Henderson. The throw to Beaver at first is just in time. Very, very close call there, but the throw over to Beaver was right on the money for out number one.
Yeah, a tough play there. A few people are going to have divided opinions on that one. Hudson Luderman himself thought he was safe. The Tom Sox section thought he was safe. Strasburg section thought he was out. Never going to be an easy call for an umpire, but play was made and the out is called. As a referee myself, you can never satisfy both parties. Evan Taveras up to bat. He swings through that one for strike one. With one gone here in the top of the third. Taveras had a 2-home run game against Waynesboro in one of the last games of the regular season. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt for ball one. And to that point, Tavares hadn't had an extra base hit all season until he got to that game against Waynesboro with 2 solo shots. Alcyander comes set. He'll deal the 1-1 pitch to Taveras. Swing and a miss again, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Alcyander gets his signal from Morales behind the plate. A called strike 3 for Alcyander, and he gets his second strikeout of the day. This one looking. And again, the rust for Alcyander not pitching in a few weeks hasn't really shown at all. He's looked phenomenal, even better than some of his outings this season, and the Sox look to have really no answer to him right now. Brings up a guy that hasn't had the season that maybe he would have wanted. Walker Buchanan batting 158 this season. First pitch to Walker in the zone for strike one with 2 gone here in the top of the third. A guy that got close to that Mendoza line about a week ago and since then has steadily dropped. He lines that one over to short. The throw over to Beaver is in time, and again another 1-2-3 inning for the Sox. That makes it 3 in a row, and they'll have to do some more defense on the end of this break. The 9-hole hitter, Brooks Henderson, up to bat for the Express, and then we go back to the top of the order with Brady Bowles and Paul Austin up to bat
or on deck, as I should say, for the Express to begin this bottom of the third. Still scoreless here in Game 1 of the Valley League Championship Series. So glad we can have you all listening along to us and being along with us for this ride. Lucas Cash still dealing on the mound. The first pitch is high for ball 1. Cash so far today has 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking, and he's held the Express scoreless so far. The 1-0 pitch from Cash. Henderson takes a chop at that one, and it'll sail foul behind our heads and into a squabble of fans. 1-1 now the count here. Cash dealing to Brooks Henderson. No outs. Bottom of the third. The pitch. Henderson took another hack at that one. Foul tipped it behind him. 1-2 now.
Henderson last night came up big for the Express in the 5th inning, hitting a 3-run shot to put them up, and that lead would hold for the rest of the ball game. I think he'd look to provide a spark right here and get Strasburg on the board.
Cash trying to not have that happen. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Lucas Cash really coming alive here. His 3rd strikeout of the outing in just under 3 innings of work. Cash will now come set again, this time against leadoff man, or first hitting man, Brady Bowles, the shortstop for the Express. The first pitch, Bowles takes ball 1. He flew out to left field in his first at-bat, all the way back in the 1st inning here at First Bank Park. The 1-0 pitch, called, strike 1. Cash finding his zone here against Bowles.
And Bowles has been pretty good in the playoffs so far, 500 average through 2 games. 4 for 8 in those 2 games.
Cash comes set again. He'll deal the 1-1. That one can't locate the zone, just a bit below, and it'll be a 2-1 count in favor of Brady Bowles. Bowles, yeah, as you mentioned, hitting 500 in his last 2 games and 8 at-bats, 4 hits, and just 1 RBI. That pitch, again, can't locate. 3-1 count now to Bowles, as Tavares will take a walk towards the mound and have a chat with his pitcher. The first time we've seen some sort of, not, I wouldn't call it discomfort, but maybe off the beaten path for Lucas Cash in his outing. He's had a really, really consistent outing so far with 3 strikeouts, just 1 hit, but that hit was eventually put out from a long throw by Perry Hargett over to the glove of Jackson Soroy at second.
And this is a good decision by Evan Tavares here. I think the idea behind this is the fact that you're facing top of the order. You don't want to let Bowles and Austin find their way on base for Landon Beaver and Eddie Castillo to have a chance to knock them in, because it's a tough spot to work out of with runners in scoring position with 2 of the best hitters in the VBL back-to-back.
A big pitch coming up here for Cash. A 3-1 pitch. Swung on and popped up into the air. That'll sail well behind the compounds of First Bank Park, and it'll be a 3-2 count. Payoff pitch coming here for Lucas Cash to Brady Bowles. 1 gone here. Bottom of the third. Score knotted at 0-0. Brady Bowles lines that one, and that will take a hit off of the light pole for a home run and a 1-0 score in Strasburg.
Now there's the smaller dimensions of First Bank Park playing an assist there. That one's likely off the fence, or even short of the fence at Charlottesville High School, but that one lines off the foul pole right next to the Express bullpen, and they take a 1-0 lead on a solo shot.
It's Bowles' 3rd home run of the season, his first here in the Valley League playoffs, and it brings up a guy that is not shy of home runs himself, Paul Austin, out of Western Illinois, a Louisville, Kentucky native. Hit 3 home runs during the regular season, 14 RBIs, batting .400 in his last 2 games. Lucas Cash, still 1 gone here in the bottom of the third, but Strasburg with a 1-0 lead. The first pitch to Austin is a ball. Cash comes set again. Brings the ball into his glove. Takes a look at Austin. He'll deal. And Austin takes strike one. Evening the count at 1 apiece. Again, a Brady Bowles solo shot puts the Express up 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Next pitch is a swing and a miss from Austin, and Lucas Cash works ahead in this count. Cash in that green jersey, donning the number 8, puts the ball in his glove, readies the 1-2 pitch. Austin just foul tips that one, and it'll be a 1-2 count again.
Austin, a later addition to the Strasburg roster than most players on this team. He's only played 11 games in the regular season, but in the 2 playoff games, he's batted .400. He's brought himself around to score 4 times, and he's recorded 2 hits alongside 4 walks.
Cash will deal the 1-2. That went outside for ball 2. An even count here for Lucas, trying to resurrect himself after that launcher from Brady Bowles. The 2-2. Tapped over to French. He gloves it. Tosses it over to Cash at first for out number 2. Paul Austin unable to beat the throw. That brings up Eddie Castillo with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd. The Sox need to get an out here. This is the meat and bones of that Strasburg lineup, and you would want to get out of here with minimal damage. The first pitch to Castillo. Cash deals. That one finds the zone for strike 1.
That's the thing with Lucas Cash. He'll attack. He's not afraid to attack. Even though he gave the solo shot, he's still on the aggressive, looking for the first pitch strike and trying to put himself in a good position in the count.
Got to have the mind of a goldfish if you're Cash. The 0-1 pitch can't locate, just a bit down, and it'll even the count at 1 apiece. Castillo on the season hitting .379 with 7 home runs and 33 hits to his name. A guy that doesn't strike out much either. 22 walks compared to 13 strikeouts. That one a swing and a tapper, but it'll go foul for a 1-2 count in favor of Cash. He's 1 strike away, 1 pitch away from retiring the Express with just 1 run here in the bottom of the 3rd. The pitch can't locate for an even 2-2 count. Some good banter here between French and the first base umpire. Something you like to see. Really testament to the character of the Sox squad. The 2-2 pitch from Cash coming up. He deals to Castillo. Castillo hits that one over to Nias. The throw back over to French in time. Easy peasy for 3 outs. The Sox just 1 run let in after a Brady Bowles home run, and they'll look to even it up here in the top of the 4th. Perry Hargett up to bat for the Sox as they try and even the score line after a Brady Bowles solo shot in the bottom of the third. Put Strasburg up 1-0 here in game one. The first pitch to Perry is a called strike one right down the middle of the zone by Josh Ossiender, who is really dealing here against the Tom Sox. The next pitch to Perry can't locate for ball one.
Yeah, Ossiender's been spotless through the first 3 frames of this game. It's been impressive to watch, and he's really dissected the Sox order pretty efficiently.
The 1-1 pitch, Perry taps that one just a bit foul, and it'll sail over towards the dugout of the Express. Ossiender working quick here. Not a whole lot of time between his pitches. He comes set. Ball in his glove. Gets his sign from Morales behind the plate. The 1-1 pitch. A swinging strike. A drop third strike in that, and Beaver safely handles it at first for out number 1.
Yeah, Ossiender just continues his hot stretch, and though this is the part of the Tom Sox order you would like to see, try to find their way on base, it just hasn't been that way the first few at-bats. I mean, both the top 3 guys in the order went down by the ground out in their first at-bat, and now Hart goes down by strikeout in his second.
Brings up Kyle Langley, who's dealt a first pitch ball. A guy that definitely has home run capabilities and a very short field, only 300 to right, where Langley hit his only home run of the season. The 1-0 pitch, outside again for 2-0.
A good spot for Langley to try and get something going here in a 2-0 count. Good hitters count for a good hitter.
Ossiender deals. Langley swings and drives that one over the head of Henderson, and that'll be the Sox first base hit of the day. He holds up at first, tracks his way back, and stays for a single. Kyle Langley gets the Sox first hit of the day and first hit of the Valley League Championship.
Yeah, like I said, a positive sign there, a good start for Langley here in the top of the 4th. Now it turns it over to RBI producer. It's been Jackson Soroy in these playoffs.
The righty out of Maryland, the future Terp. The hero of last night will try and work some magic here. Ossiender deals. Soroy takes ball 1. The first blemish on Ossiender's resume today is a Kyle Langley single. Will that open the Sox up? Ossiender comes set. Gets his signal. He'll deal. Inside for ball 2.
Again, the second 2-0 count a Sox hitter will face. Not going to get, well, I should say you're most likely not going to get a better pitch on a 2-0 count, so good spot for Soroy to grip it and rip it.
Ossiender will deal the 2-0 to Soroy. The pitch just a bit upstairs for ball 3. A huge hitter's count for Jackson Soroy. He'll look to take advantage of it in this next pitch. It would be very rare if Ossiender were to work a 4-pitch walk. The 3-0 pitch from Ossiender works the zone for strike 1. Still a hitter's count for Soroy. He's ahead, but needs to act a bit faster now. Ossiender comes set. Ball and glove. Out of the windup, he deals. Soroy, a tapper over to first in time. But Kyle Langley moves into scoring position, and that brings up Brock Clayton, a guy with a lot of pop off of his bat and definitely has RBI capabilities.
That was a nice play by Brooks Henderson. Had to make the scoop on a low hop there and picked it out, fired over to Beaver at first. And well, it's still not the pleasing sight for the Express pitching staff, as Brock Clayton certainly a guy that could give the Sox the lead with 1 swing here, but better situation than runners on first and second with 1 out.
A righty-lefty matchup. The right-handed Ossiender dealing against the left-handed batter, Brock Clayton. The first pitch to Clayton. He takes ball 1, just a bit outside. And now you have to switch it up in a predominantly, not even a predominantly right-handed lineup. The first 6 batters in this lineup alternate between right and lefty. The last lefty hit a single against Ossiender. The 1-0 pitch. Clayton takes a called strike 1. That one just down the middle. Ossiender continues to deal well. Count evens at 1 apiece. 2 gone here in the top of the 4th. Sox find themselves down 1-0. Ossiender will deal the 1-1 pitch. And Clayton pops that one up, pops it foul, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Down to their last strike. They need to get something here. And with Kyle Langley in scoring position, Brock Clayton's got to be feeling a bit of pressure.
Yeah, you have to find a way to get yourself back in momentum. Otherwise, the Strasburg bats are just going to only get hotter, and they're going to find ways to put you down even more than you already are.
Ossiender comes set. Out of the windup, he'll deal the 1-2 pitch. Takes a look at Langley, the pitch coming, and it hits Brock square in the back. And he'll jog over to first. So 2 gone here in the top of the 4th, and Brock Clayton works a hit by pitch to put 2 runners on for the Sox, bringing up Patrick Neas, who is not afraid of extra run home runs.
Patrick Neas this season batting .300 with runners in scoring position. 2 outs, he's batting .262.
Favorable percentages there for Pat. Ossiender will try and keep the Sox scoreless. Neas takes a hack at that one for strike 1. He struck out in his first at bat, trying to rewrite history here. With Brock Clayton at first, Kyle Langley a decent lead at second. Ossiender will come set and deal the 0-1 pitch. Takes a look at Kyle, back to Neas, and he taps that one over to short. The throw over to second is in time, and that'll end the inning. The Sox still find themselves down 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 4th. Landon Beaver up to bat for the Express. After Brady Bowles put the Express on top with a solo shot in the bottom of the 4th, the Sox were unable to even the game after Kyle Langley found himself on second in scoring position. Him and Brock Clayton were left stranded on first and second. Lucas Cash still in to deal, working in his now 4th inning of work after 3 completed. He faces off against one of the biggest bats for the Express in Landon Beaver, the lefty. Cash a righty. An offhand matchup. The first pitch. Beaver swings and drives that one over to right. Perry Hargett won't even try. That one's gone. And it's a 2-0 lead for Strasburg.
And there's the talent that Beaver possesses. Just a long fly ball. Like I said earlier, if you can't find ways to get runs early, the Express are just going to find ways to knock the morale down even more than it already is. And right there, a leadoff shot from Beaver as this Sox dugout pretty quiet.
Back-to-back innings with a home run for the Express, and that brings up Jake McCarter, a guy that has also been one of the bigger bats for the Express in his time in Strasburg. He's batting .750 in these playoffs. Struck out in his first at-bat. Cash will try and resurrect himself. Steps off the mound, now back into his stance. Rotating the ball, trying to find his seam. Locks in on one. And he'll come set to deal the first pitch to McCarter. With no gone here after a solo shot from Landon Beaver. The pitch, McCarter fouls that one back into the fence, and it'll be a 0-1 count. Strasburg hasn't been incredible at the bats, but those 2 home runs definitely something. McCarter drives that one foul, and it'll be a quick 0-2 count for Cash. The only thing that the Sox could really do better is have some sort of offense. They've had 4 straight scoreless innings, and that's something you can't have, especially in a shorter arena like Strasburg.
Yeah, and like a good hitting team like Strasburg, you should say. They can find ways.
The 0-2 pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Jake McCarter trying to work back into this count after he found himself down 0-2. Cash readies the pitch. He'll deal the 1-2. McCarter fouls that one up. That's going to sail into foul territory and out of reach for any Tom Sox player in green. Still a 1-2 count towards McCarter.
And one thing about this Strasburg team is they don't go down easy. They've been fighting Lucas Cash all day. Even if the at-bat ends in a strikeout, it's been a long at-bat with a lot of foul balls and really stone-cold takes from this Express squad.
So Cash will come set again to deal the 1-2 pitch again. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Cash gets himself back on track with his 4th strikeout of the game. His 3rd swinging. It's going to bring up Brett Mosley, who also struck out. Cash is only looking to strike out of this game, and that came in the bottom of the 2nd. So after a leadoff home run from Landon Beaver, Cash works a strikeout from Jake McCarter to get 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th. Cash deals a swing and into fair territory that splits the gap between Luderman and French, and Mosley will get himself on first.
Yeah, the Express starting to find some more solid contact. These last 2 innings, you had the homer from Bowles back in the 3rd, and now the solo shot from Beaver and a single from Mosley. See if anybody gets up and moving around in the Sox bullpen, as limited options as there are.
Caden Harris currently throwing in the Tom Sox bullpen, likely to come in when Cash's day comes to an end. Now up against Jay Douglas, the center fielder, with 1 gone here. The throw over to first. Kind of close, but not in time. Mosley with a big lead off of first. French was ready for the throw. Cash takes a look at Mosley, comes set in his stance. He'll deal the first pitch, a bunt. Nias comes over to get it, but it's not going to be in time, and Douglas will, it's going to be foul. It's going to be foul. Was wondering why Nias kind of let off of the play, but it's because the ball sailed into foul territory, and now it's an 0-1 count.
Pat had no other choice but to let that try and sail into foul territory. Otherwise, he stood no chance at getting Mosley at first. Douglas at first.
So Jay Douglas will dig back in the righty's batter's box. And Cash will deal the 0-1 pitch with Mosley on first. Cash comes set and deals the 0-1. He'll throw back to first instead, and not in time. A second unsuccessful throw over, and the count stays at 0-1.
It's one thing the Sox catchers talked about when we heard it at Culpeper, that they enjoy Lucas Cash, how he holds on the runners. It's been a big issue for the Sox this season.
The 0-1 pitch. It's going to take a nick off of Jay Douglas, and it'll send him to first. Mosley will move over to second, and Strasburg has a runner in scoring position.
This is a dangerous spot for the Sox with Morales and Henderson, who could very easily leave the ballpark, put the Express up multiple runs, and maybe deal the death blow, as Randy Tomlin now is going to walk out and have a conversation with Lucas Cash.
Smart move there from Randy Tomlin, a veteran coach with Liberty Christian Academy, and in his 2nd season with the Charlottesville Tom Sox, a guy that has vast pitching experience in the major leagues, pitched a complete game in his MLB debut with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he'll have a conversation with Lucas Cash, and the rest of the Sox infield. Maybe just to try and settle Cash down a little bit. No signal over to the bullpen.
Yeah, Harris will still get loose, and he's one of the few arms the Sox have available. He can chalk up Saxon Roberts, Caden Harris. These two of the guys we 100% know are available. When they'll come in is mystery only known by the Sox coaching staff.
So one gone here in the bottom of the fourth. Landon Beaver, a leadoff solo shot to begin this inning. Cash will come set, now dealing against Eddie Morales, the catcher. The first pitch to Morales, as Cash will take a look at Mosley at second. A huge lead. He's bouncing back and forth. The pitch into the dirt. Runners will stay where they're at. Don't want to risk a put out. And it'll be a 1-0 count. Score is 2-0 here in Strasburg in Game 1 of the Valley League Championship Series. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, the throw over from Taveras to second is not in time, and the runners will both advance to third and second with Mosley at third, Douglas at second, and a 2-0 count against Eddie Morales.
Miscommunication there between Taveras and Cash. It looked like Taveras wanted to try and go to second to get Jay Douglas out. Cash didn't really move off the mound and had to try and catch it as it was coming straight for his head. That one deflected and nearly allowed Mosley to score from third.
It's now a 2-0 count with two runners in scoring position for Strasburg. Cash will deal to Morales again. Hits that one into Nias' glove. The throw over to first. French makes the catch for out number 2.
It's a good job by Pat there. Made the nice play, stayed with it, and managed to check Mosley, not allow him to really stray off the bag too far, get the out, and now give Lucas Cash a chance to try and work out of this jam.
2 gone here. Bottom of the fourth. Again, it feels like you say this every inning, but it's imperative that the Sox get this final out sooner rather than later, especially with the runners in scoring position and the big bats in this lineup. It brings off the roundup man, Brooks Henderson. Takes a ball 1 for the first pitch. Henderson struck out swinging, my apologies, in the first at bat in the bottom of the third. Count now 1-0 in favor of him. The pitch, swung and driven. Over to Soroy, the throw back over to French at first. In time! Strasburg, the players and the coaches losing their mind as the Tom Sox will work out of a bit of a jam and keep the score at 2-0 in favor of the Express. Two Hokies start us off here in the top of the fifth. Anderson, French, and Hudson Luderman, then Evan Taveras. in the hole for the Sox. They're looking to overcome now a 2-0 deficit here as we enter the back half of this game.
Well, Lyndon, I have to say this to those who are listening at home and are a little bit worried about the score right now. The Sox have been comeback kids the entire postseason apart from that Waynesboro game. They went down in Stanton early. They went down against Culpeper yesterday, but they battled their way back, and it's been late inning comebacks that have been the theme of this postseason run for the Sox to get them to this point. Do they have one more in them?
Alciander still dealing on the mound for the Express. He deals a first pitch ball to Anderson French.
To add on to my point, this guy always seems to be the focal point of those late game runs. Can he start one now?
French taps that one foul. It'll even the count at 1 apiece. French hitting very well here in the postseason and for the Sox in general and limited at-bats. As Alciander comes set again, he'll deal the 1-1 pitch. French hits that one in between the gap of short and second and gets himself on base via the single.
Well, as we said, this guy's been a focal point of starting some rallies for the Sox, and a single there is a huge start, turning it over to his collegiate teammate Hudson Luderman, who had the big moment yesterday with the game-tying single in the 9th, looking to continue this spark for the Sox.
Luderman, a guy that loves to pull right. He's going to be hitting down that third base line more often than not. It's a matter of time before it goes towards the right side of the foul pole and over the fences. The first pitch to Luderman, upstairs for ball 1. French now on base at first, taking a sizable lead there. Alciander comes set. He'll deal the 1-0. Luderman lines that one over the third base line, and the left fielder misses the catch. French will go over to third and slides in time. So a double for Hudson Luderman advances French to third. And now 2 runners in scoring position for the Sox with Evan Taveras up to bat.
Yeah, and that one bobbled by the left fielder McCarter and allowed Luderman to advance to second. 2 guys in scoring position for Taveras, and he said he had a huge game on Sunday against Waynesboro. The day off yesterday. Could be a big at-bat right here for the Sox.
The most important thing is that there's no outs here in the top of the 5th. The Sox have a lot of free reign now. Finally getting their bats going against Alciander. The first pitch to Taveras. Swing and a miss. Almost came out of his shoes there. Really wanted it all. The winning run, or the leading run, as I should say, is in the batter's box for the Sox. The tying run in Luderman over at second. Alciander will deal the 1-0. Into the dirt for an even count. And both players thought about coming forward, but that backstop is not favorable for any base runner. It has a lot of pop off of it, and it'll easily come back to the catcher more often than not.
And French not the fastest of guys, so it'd definitely be a risk to try and head home there from third, even on any passed ball, but good decision there, and nice job by Luderman to get back to second as the Express infield was calling for that ball to try and get him out.
So Alciander will come set, dealing in an even 1-1 count with no outs here in the top of the 5th. Express lead 2-0. Alciander deals the 1-1. Swing and a miss from Taveras, and he's down 1-2. He'll dig in to the righty's batter box again with an RBI chance. French on third, Luderman on second. Alciander will deal again. The pitch, Taveras swings and foul tips it backwards to stay alive in this count. Still 1-2.
Good job by Taveras there. This is the first real trouble that Alciander has faced, and unfortunately the Strasburg bullpen is hidden by the left field wall, and we can't really get a good eye on if anybody's getting loose out there. Can only assume that maybe somebody is, but see how Alciander handles the first real hiccup in his outing.
There is somebody dealing in that Express bullpen, or maybe just warming up. Alciander will come set on the mound in his 5th inning of work. The 1-2 pitch to Taveras. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Alciander gets one back.
And a huge out now as you go to the 9-hitter for the Sox, Walker Buchanan, who hasn't had the best go of things as of late. But again, baseball's a humbling sport. You can turn it all around with one swing of the bat, and Walker can do that right here.
A guy that's batting well below the Mendoza line this season. A 6-3 put out in his first at-bat that came in the bottom or the top of the third. And Osiander will deal to him again. The first pitch to Walker Buchanan. Into the dirt. And French again thought about coming, but decided to hold off. And again, just that backstop is unforgiving for any base runner. It's something different from the Sox and their chain link fence that the balls will bounce soft off of it.
Litterman a smirk there at second as he was halfway to third and saw French wasn't going, had to get back yet again. He's ready to run. French not exactly light on his feet to the plate.
So Osiander will reset himself on the mound, not in the normal rhythm that he used to be in a 1-0 count against Walker Buchanan. He'll deal the pitch. Buchanan watches that one sail under the strike zone for ball 2.
Good count for Buchanan. Again, all he really needs is a ground ball, a fly ball to bring in a run. Cut the Express lead 2-1.
Saw him hitting in BP earlier, and he was knocking balls left, right, and center over that fence. Can he do it here in a game time situation? The 2-0 pitch. He checks his swing. Did he go? No, he did not. The count will now move to 3-0, and Walker Buchanan holds all the power in his hands now.
That was a great job of holding his hands back, Landon, on that pitch to put himself a 3-0 count now. Don't know if he'll be given the green light here, but could find himself on first via a walk.
The 3-0 pitch from Osiander splits the middle of the zone for strike 1. 3-1 now the count. Osiander gets himself into this at-bat.
He's going to have to attack here, and Walker Buchanan's ready. Could be a huge turn of momentum for the Sox.
Momentum is a key thing, especially in a championship series. The 3-1 pitch. That one just a bit upstairs, and Walker Buchanan will walk himself over to first. Bases loaded for the Sox with one gone here, top of the 5th. And that'll bring up the top of the order for the Sox, and Perry Hargett, a guy that certainly knows how to work walks.
We'll have a mound visit here. Strasburg coaching staff, not sure if this will be the end of the day for Osiander, but bases loaded, Perry Hargett, guy who's had some real unlucky at-bats as of late. The line out yesterday against Culpepper, the 2 line outs in Stanton where you saw the frustration as he left the box a couple times, and he has a chance to wipe that all away right here with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Turn that frustration into power. It's one of the hardest but most successful things you can do, especially as a baseball player. And you really lock in on that ball and put your frustration and all your inconveniences into it. The ball will listen to you. So Perry Hargett will dig into the righty's batter's box with Osiander coming back up to the mound. Walker Buchanan on first, Luderman on second, Anderson French 90 feet away on third. Osiander gets his signal, will come set and deal the first pitch to Perry Hargett. Hargett will watch that one sail below the zone for ball 1. Osiander not the same man that we knew in the first 3 innings of work.
And just to reiterate, Kyle Langley on deck, one of the best on-base hitters for the Sox.
Osiander, the 1-0. Again, down low and inside for ball 2.
Big spot for Hargett. If he can turn it over to Kyle Langley, well, regardless of what happens, if he were to reach base, it would most likely result in a run for the Sox and giving Langley the chance to put the Sox ahead with a base hit.
A 2-0 count in favor of Hargett. The pitch, swing and a miss from Perry. And now the count will move to 2-1. Osiander gets himself in it.
And that was a good decision by Hargett to swing there on a 2-0 count. You're going to have to either see a good pitch or it's going to be a miss from Osiander, and he couldn't connect on that one, but 2-1. Maybe Josh will fire one into the zone. Perry can find a gap somewhere.
The Catamount will deal yet again. The 2-1 pitch to Hargett. Upstairs for ball 3. Another favorable count for the Sox. Will this one swing their way as well? All Sox taking a lead off of their respective bags. Ossiander will deal the 3-1 to Perry. He swings and drives that one back. Going back to the wall is Douglas. And a grab is made by Douglas. Anderson will tag up and go to home. So a sac fly on a hard hit ball from Perry Hargett scores Anderson French, and the Sox are on the board here in Strasburg.
It's a good piece of hitting, and again, a little bit unlucky from Perry Hargett. That ball deserved better than to find the glove of Jay Douglas out there in center field, but does put the Sox within one with Kyle Langley at the plate. An RBI opportunity.
So Buchanan stayed at first. Luderman stayed at second. Smart plays from those two base runners. And now Kyle Langley with a runner in scoring position. Luderman, the tying run. 2 gone here, top of the 5th. 2-1, Strasburg leads. The first pitch to Kyle. Langley takes a first pitch ball. 1-0. Ossiander working in his 5th inning of work now. 4 2/3 so far. In a 1-0 deficit against Kyle Langley. Luderman a sizable leadoff second. The pitch. Langley swings and drives that one up. Long gone, baby! Kyle Langley, a 3-run shot, and the Sox are on top 4-2 here in Strasburg.
We've been waiting for one of the Sox batters to finally get a hold of a baseball, and you saw it right there. That one, no doubt off the bat, the dimensions of First Bank Park friendly enough to give the Sox a 2-run lead. 4-2 the score in the top of the 5th.
A huge momentum swing, just as we were talking about earlier. The Sox needed something, and Kyle Langley, as he did earlier in the season, a long gone shot to right field as he lets out a scream of excitement in the Sox dugout. And now a 2-run lead for Charlottesville here in the top of the 5th, bringing up Jackson Soroy.
And that might be the end of the day for Josh Ossiander. Nearly navigated out of a bases-loaded jam, but one pitch changes the entire trajectory of his outing.
So a new pitcher coming in for the Express. And Ossiander will be on his train out of here in the top of the 5th. We'll have the new pitcher up for you after this break. New pitcher in the game for the Express. It's a right-handed pitcher, Braden Hutchinson, Luke.
Yeah, Braden Hutchinson, a former teammate of Kagan Costas at Paul DeCamp Community College from Fredericksburg, Virginia. He's pitched in only 2 games for the Express this season, making 1 start with an 0-2 record, 3-1 innings pitched with an 18.89 ERA, 7 earned runs in those 3 innings. So we'll see if the Sox can continue this streak of a couple base hits, a couple ways to find their way on base, and tallying 4 runs to take the lead here at the top of the 5th.
So in case you forgot, Kyle Langley, a 3-run shot to give the Sox a 4-2 lead here in Strasburg with 2 gone. Top of the 5th. The first pitch to Soroy is into the dirt for ball 1. I think it's also of note to mention that Braden Hutchinson only has 1 strikeout on the season in just his 2 games for Strasburg.
Express starved for pitching, and it's definitely showing right now. Hutchinson hasn't pitched since July 10th, even further back than Osiander.
The 1-0 pitch, again into the dirt. That one spiked just before home plate. And it's going to move to a 2-0 count. Hutchinson comes set. He'll deal the 2-0 pitch. Again into the dirt. 3 straight low balls, and that'll be a 3-0 count. Soroy in a big hitter's count.
Baseball's a tough game because pitching is what got them to the North Division Final. A beautiful outing against Winchester.
The 3-0 pitch. That one downstairs as well. A 4-pitch walk for Jackson Soroy, and the Sox are on base yet again.
Doesn't get any easier. You walk Soroy. Now you got to face Brock Clayton, a guy that could just as easily send one over those trees that Kyle Langley hit his into.
Brock Clayton, a really big bat. A guy that had a no-doubter against Culpepper. A similar shot to Kyle Langley. The first pitch to him again, spiked into the ground, and Soroy will take full advantage of that one, moving his way to second on the wild pitch.
Unlike Josh Osiander, Braden Hutchinson really showing the rust of not pitching in a few weeks so far. Hasn't found the strike zone through 5 pitches.
Now a 1-0 count in favor of Brock Clayton. Hutchinson comes set with Soroy on second. Takes a look at him, will deal. Again spiked into the ground, and Soroy has now worked himself over to third off of 2 wild pitches from Braden Hutchinson.
And again, if I'm the coaching staff for the Sox right now, Brock Clayton is getting a very hard take signal. Hutchinson has yet to find the zone, and though it is a 2-0 count, I think that you want to let him find the zone, because if he finds the zone, he throws you a cookie. You're going to add 2 more runs to the tally.
If you give Brock a cookie, what will he do with it? A 2-0 count towards Clayton. The pitch from Hutchinson. That one finally locates the zone, and Hutchinson gets himself a strike, his first of the day. 2 gone here for the Sox. A bit of a 2-out rally. The next pitch to Clayton. He swings and pops that one up foul. An even count at 2 apiece.
I think Brock wanted that one. You could tell by the reaction. Obviously, you fans can't see it, but kind of turned away and turned back towards the plate in a little bit of disgust, as I think he could have sent that one out.
The 2-2. Clayton taps that one over to Beaver. He muffs the catch. The throw over to first is not in time. He's safe, and Soroy will score a 5-2 ball game after an RBI single from Brock Clayton.
I think that one might more go as an error from Landon Beaver, as he couldn't scoop it cleanly on the transition throw over to first. Pulled Hutchinson off the bag. But regardless, that gives the Sox 3-run lead, 5-2 the score.
And a good heads-up awareness from Brock Clayton. Even though it looked like Beaver may have had that catch, he still went full speed into first base to try and make the play. And E3 is how that one will be scored. So not an RBI single, but Brock Clayton nonetheless is on first base. The first pitch to Patrick Neas is a ball. Braden Hutchinson takes a look at Clayton at first. The 1-0. Neas taps that one over to the shortstop. The flip over to second is in time, and that'll end the inning. A 5 spot for the Sox. Sees them take a 5-2 lead here in Strasburg in Game 1 of the Valley League Championships.
Lucas Cash still dealing here in the bottom of the fifth of the VBL Championship. Game one, a 5-2 lead for the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Brady Bowles, the leadoff man and the number one hitter in the Express lineup, due up at the plate. Cash in the windup, fires, and Bowles takes a first pitch fastball for a strike.
Yeah, Cash really been dealing well so far. That fastball has been working for him. And when he's gone to the off-speed, it's thrown Strasburg off enough to get them swinging at the ball.
As a recap of last inning, Kyle Langley, a 3-run shot, put the Sox ahead as Cash steals a ball down in the dirt for ball one. That was actually after a Perry Hargett sacrifice fly that cut the 2-0 lead to 2-1. And then Jackson Soroy worked a walk, advanced to third on 2 wild pitches, and found his way to the plate on a E3 from the Express first baseman. Now Cash gets his sign, delivers the 1-1 pitch. Bowles takes the ball that bounces in the dirt to make it a 2-1 count.
So Cash officially going further, or not further, but he's getting close to the line that Ossiander wasn't able to cross, which was 4 2/3.
Cash from the windup, the next pitch. It's a tapper towards third. It'll roll foul into the Express dugout. 2-2 now, the count between Cash and Bowles.
Caden Harris was getting warm for the Tom Sox in the bullpen, but I think Randy Tomlin's going to want to see how Cash fares here in the bottom of the fifth.
Lucas looking for the punch out, the 2-2. This one's grounded towards third once again into the Strasburg dugout to keep the count at 2 apiece. Cash gets his sign once more. Here's his next offering. That one down in the dirt. Bowles spits on it to run the count full.
Yeah, full count for Cash. He'll look to stick with what's been working for him as of late. Whatever that pitch may be, he should deal it. Not try anything new here.
Here's the full count pitch. That one down in the dirt. Tavares picks it, but Bowles will work his way on base via a walk. We'll see if Randy Tomlin issues the hook here for Lucas Cash.
Yeah, it looks like he might as he steps up and comes over and gives a signal to the Tom Sox bullpen.
So that'll do it for Lucas Cash. He leaves with a runner on first base, but in line for the victory, as it may be Caden Harris for the Tom Sox. We'll be back on the other side of this pitching change here on the Tom Sox Broadcast Network. The call to the bullpen for the Charlottesville Tom Sox sends out Lane Duff, the lefty from James Madison, playing against his brother's squad. And he'll look to try and bridge relief here for the Sox with a runner on first, inherited from Lucas Cash.
Yeah, Duff appeared in that South semi against Stanton and pitched just 1 inning, but 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no runs against him. So look to continue this stretch, and I'm thinking that he'll go a little further than an inning today and try to save as many pitchers as you can if you're the Charlottesville pitching staff.
He's become one of the Sox premier mid-relievers as we got in the late stretch of this season. Had some struggles early on in the year with command, but has really hunkered down to become one of the best arms in this bullpen in the back half of the season. with one postseason appearance under his belt. We'll see how the second one goes here in Game 1 of the VBL Championship. Score 5-2 in favor of the Tom Sox.
He also has a 3.13 ERA and 11 outings during the entire season for the Sox, with 19 strikeouts, 18 walks, but just 9 earned runs to his name, and the low batting average of 217 against him. So a guy that has really come alive as the season has gone forth, a lefty with a really good movement.
So due up now for the Express will be the right fielder, Paul Austin, who is 0 for 2 today, with 2 ground outs, the inverse of each other, a 1-3 and a 3-1. As Duff gets his sign, working out of the stretch with Bowles taking the lead at first. Duff's first pitch down in the dirt. Tavares has to pick it up. So a 1-0 count to Austin.
Tavares has done really well today of limiting the amount of balls that have gone to the backstop. It's something that he's been really good at all season, is using those padding.
Duff checks Bowles over at first, gives him a look. Now he comes to the plate. Austin a little bit behind that one, a swinging strike on the heater there, and the count tied up at 1-1.
Good location there from Duff. He got it in his spot, and now that he's found that location, found what Austin wants to swing at, he should continue to use that.
Bowles taking an extra step off of first. Duff gets his sign. One last glance over to first. Here's the 1-1. Down in the dirt once again. Now 2-1 to the man in the 2 spot, Paul Austin.
This is similar to how his last outing started out. You know, a couple of spike balls into the dirt, but then he got his movement going and found a consistent rhythm of pitches that he liked, and by the second batter, he was going forward.
Not the spot to allow base runners here in a tight ball game, with the middle of the order beckoning. 2-1 to Austin. Tavares has to reach over and scoop it, and now 3-1. Duff taking his time to readjust himself. It's his sign. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and he'll fire over to first instead to check Bowles. So we'll wait on the 3-1 pitch.
Almost a no-look throw from Lane Duff on the mound, trying to catch Bowles off guard, and didn't work out exactly the way he'd wanted it to.
Duff now looking to come to the plate. Here's the 3-1. That one misses for ball 4. So now runners on first and second after the 5-pitch walk for Paul Austin.
Yeah, and Duff really needs to reel himself back in. Again, an offhanded battle now against Eddie Castillo. He's got to find a pitch that works for him and really tap into that. No need to try anything new here today.
Castillo, one of the best hitters for average in the Valley Baseball League. Here's the first pitch. Castillo takes for strike 1.
Exactly what you want to do there. A fiery fastball from Duff that just popped into the zone, and now he's got that in his brain. He knows what to do.
Duff rocks on the mound. Now fires. Swing and a miss from Castillo in the dirt. Tavares blocks it, and he'll hold the runners up, still at second and first. So an 0-2 count to the man in the 3 spot for Strasburg, Eddie Castillo. Duff, look back to second, now ready with the 0-2. That one misses. And the count moves to 1-2.
Good motion there from Duff. He's now relying on that fastball a little bit more. Just trying to get Castillo to swing at it as hard as he can.
Castillo and Duff in a battle here. The 1-2 from Lane. Misses inside. Thought Duff might have caught the corner, but now it evens it up at 2 apiece.
The silence before you think that home plate umpire is going to call a called strike 3 is deafening here in Strasburg, and there was a little more silence there as that one was deemed the ball, and he'll do it again.
Duff ready. He'll deliver once more. That one in the dirt. Tavares blocks it, but the count will run full. A huge pitch here for Lane Duff. This one could dictate how the rest of his outing goes against one of the best hitters in this lineup. Buchanan playing back really deep, almost at the wall in left field for the righty Castillo. Here's the full count pitch. That one's driven out to deep center field. Langley ranges back. Bowles is going to tag at second, and he'll fake the tag. Throw goes to Soroy as the cutoff man. So a fly out for Castillo. Harmlessly ends in an out. And one down for the man that's already homered once today in Landon Beaver.
The only positive about having Beaver come up to the plate is that now you're pitching against the guy that also hits lefty. We saw the switch hitter in Austin switch to the right-handed side in order to have the favorable matchup against the lefty Lane Duff, and now Lane Duff has another lefty in the batter's box against him.
Duff fires the first pitch to Beaver, who takes that one down in the dirt. Back pick over to first. French blocks it, gets away from him. French falls down, a wild play. Bowles almost went off of second. He stayed there. Austin got a large lead at first. Tavares tried to back pick French, who blocked it with his chest, and then nearly made a throw to third, but nobody advances, and the count will stay 1-0.
Yeah, a hectic play, but luckily everything stays the same on the field, and we'll just do the pitch over again.
Here's the 1-0 from Duff. That one down in the dirt again. Tavares, a good job of blocking. But Landon Beaver now ahead in a hitter's count, 2-0.
Really got to pitch a strike here. Maybe try and get Beaver to chase with a changeup or a curveball.
Duff out of the stretch. He fires. Inside, ball 3. Obviously a situation where you'd like to work around a guy like Landon Beaver, but with runners on first and second, a tough spot. Duff behind 3-0. He gets his sign. From the stretch, he kicks and fires. Called strike to make the count 3-1. This is a huge at-bat in the grand scheme of things. No, it's only the middle innings, but Strasburg would be elated to get back in this. The next pitch, fouled into the Tom Sox dugout with some force to make it a full count.
Good hands there from Jesus Cesari to pick it up and give it back over to the first base coach for Strasburg.
So now Lane Duff a pitch away from retiring what could be the Valley Baseball League most valuable player when the season's over. 3-2 from Duff is a ball 4. So a pitch just on the outside of the plate will load the bases for Jake McCarter.
The only positive is now the double play could be in order for the Tom Sox based off how Jake McCarter hits this ball. And that would promptly end the inning.
So the platoon advantage for Jake McCarter, the left fielder. Duff's last outing, he did walk the first 2 batters he faced, then struck out the next 2. Got Mikey Urbaniak, one of the best hitters in the VBL, to line out for the final out. Here's the first pitch to McCarter. That one down in the dirt. Tavares blocks it. It'll roll harmlessly out in front of the plate. Nobody can advance.
You just got to find a consistent pitch if you're Lane Duff. Don't worry about the base runners behind you. Worry about the at-bat at hand. Just focus on getting him to swing at your balls or to fake him out with a looking.
So 1-0 to McCarter. Duff delivers. McCarter takes for ball 2, and that one, another pitch close to the strike zone that Lane Duff won't get the call.
They're bound to come eventually. You know, a lot of times we'll see the same pitch that was not called a strike earlier be called a strike in the next at-bat. It just kind of depends on where the ump's eyes are at that point.
Here's the 2-0 to McCarter. In the dirt. That one gets past Tavares, but nobody able to advance. A 3-0 count. Lane Duff in danger of walking in a base runner. Doesn't seem as if there's anybody getting in motion in the Sox bullpen as of right now. Big pitch here for Duff to try and keep momentum in the Sox favor. Here's Duff's 3-0. Called, strike, the fastballs. So now 3-1 with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Just work it one pitch at a time if you're Duff. You don't need to worry about the overall collective at-bat. Just worry about this pitch and this pitch only.
Here's the 3-1. Ball 4 down low. So Brady Bowles will score on the RBI walk from Jake McCarter to make it a 5-3 game.
And it's not going to be easy to strike out this Strasburg batting platoon, but you got to at least give them competitive at-bats, and so far none of them have really gone in Duff's favor, except for the fly out to center from Eddie Castillo.
So as Brett Mosley steps in, that'll close the line for Lucas Cash, who goes 4 innings, allows 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. A solid day for the Sox third-year man. First pitch to Mosley, golfed over to French at first. He bobbles it, has to come to first to get the play, and he will. But a run will score to make it a 5-4 game. And French prevents a near disaster for the Sox.
Yeah, he muffed the scoop a little bit, but still had the wherewithal to get back to first in time and made a speedy sprint over there to get the second out here in the bottom of the 5th.
So 5-4 the score now here in Strasburg. Jay Douglas, chance with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Put the Express back on top. Duff delivers. First pitch ball down low.
Well, now the only thing is that the sac fly, sac bunt, sac anything is out of the question. Douglas will have to hit one in between the gaps of first and second, second and short, or third and second.
Duff now working in a 1-0 count. His pitch. Just missed on the inside for ball 2.
They're not giving Duff a lot of the calls that Cash was getting, and could be because he's a lefty, could be because of the way that his pitches are just falling, maybe not slightly the same way that Cash's were falling.
So now 2-0 to Douglas. Duff fires. Douglas lines that one back up the middle. The Strasburg Express will tie it. The throw to the plate won't be in time. They take a 6-5 lead here at First Bank Park.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Douglas had to lace it into one of those gaps, and he certainly did that, going over the gloves of Luderman and Soroy, and Langley was in no position to try and make the throw over.
So now Eddie Morales, after the 2 RBI single from Jay Douglas, look to continue the big inning.
And we had talked before the series even started that this was going to be high scoring and fiery, and it's certainly living up to that so far today.
Duff delivers a first pitch. Douglas goes. Tavares' throw down to second, goes into center field, but off the glove of Luderman. So Soroy is able to scoop it before Douglas can advance any further.
Yeah, good line there from Douglas, and a good jump on that pitch. A fast guy out there now at second base.
Now we'll have a mound visit from pitching coach Chris Glaze to talk to Lane Duff. What a wild few innings we've had. The Sox a 5 spot in the top of the 5th take the lead, but Strasburg responding with 4 runs of their own to put themselves back in the driver's seat, 6-5.
Well, if we've learned anything today, Luke, the game can change in just one swing of the bat. You think about Kyle Langley's solo shot. There wasn't a whole lot of momentum for the Sox at that point, except for the run that they had garnered right before that. But you know, they found themselves in a hole. They got back out of it. Now they're in a hole again. We said it all year. They're cardiac kids. They love to put you on the brink, but they're always going to give you a fight until the very last pitch.
So Duff behind on a 1-0 count with Douglas leading off of second. Morales, 1 for 2 today. Single, but was caught trying to advance to second by Perry Hargett back in the second. As Duff misses the zone for ball 2.
Jay Douglas, 16 stolen bags. That'll make it 17 on the season for him.
trying to find the zone on 2-0. And he won't. Count now 3-0. Still no motion in the bullpen for the Sox. Tend to let Lane Duff try to ride out this cold stretch. Here's his 3-0. Down low for ball 4. So now runners on first and second for the Express. The 9-man Brooks Henderson at the plate.
And if Brooks Henderson were to reach on any sort of ball, either a walk or a hit by pitch or a hit, the Strasburg Express would be able to work around the entire order here in the bottom of the 5th.
Duff against the righty, fires the first pitch, strike with the fastball.
He hasn't started ahead of the count in what feels like any of his at-bats so far today. So to do that and get yourself ahead is a really huge confidence boost out there for Lane.
Duff delivers the 0-1. This one fouled out of play. And Duff ahead for what might be the first time in this ball game, 0-2.
Now you've got to be feeling good. Stick with what's working for you. So far that's been the fastball. Try and get him to chase.
Duff ready. Gets his sign. Out of the stretch, the 0-2. Inside for ball 1. Fastball just missed.
Yeah, and some disgruntled Tom Sox members with that pitch. The way the ball was looking, it looked like it could nip the bottom of the zone, but just missed.
So now Duff in a 1-2 count, looking to retire Henderson. Final rock and he fires. Henderson checks his swing at a pitch in the dirt, but he'll hold back to even up the count at 2-2. Duff looking to stop the bleeding. Here's the 2-2. Down low for ball 3. Count once more full here at First Bank Park.
3 straight balls for Duff. He had himself ahead 0-2 and then just couldn't locate the zone. He's trying to paint the corners a little too much for my liking. I wish he would just try and stick with the fastball.
Here's the next pitch from Duff. Runners go as Henderson fouls that one off.
And see, the Sox are playing that fastball as the kid makes a nice grab of that foul ball over on the field next to us. But they're swinging on that fastball. If Duff can just locate it in a way that they can swing and miss, that would be perfect for him.
Duff once more in a full count. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 4. Another walk for Lane Duff. Loads the bases yet again.
It's going to be his 6th walk and 9 batters faced. He's just not the same Lane Duff that we saw in Stanton. And there's some movement in that bullpen. Not entirely sure who it is warming up out there.
Appears to be a lefty for the Sox as Duff gets ready to deliver to Brady Bowles. First pitch down low in the dirt for ball 1.
And if you're Tomlin, you really got to make a decision here. Because with the bases loaded and already walking 6 out of 9 batters, this is not a very favorable position for the Sox.
1-0 count. Duff fires in the pitch. Not want to call it strike on the inside half to put him knotted up. Brady Bowles. Duff gets his sign, working out of the stretch here. The bases juiced. Here's the 1-1. Fastball that Bowles lines into center. Langley will have to play it on a hop. Firing to second. 2 runners will score. 8-5 the lead for Strasburg here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that ball was laced, and Langley's a fast guy out there, but he's not fast enough. Ball dropped right about 20 feet in front of him, and he's unable to make a play on that. And it's been a really big rally here as now Duff will face the 11th batter of this inning.
As the first pitch for Duff will miss, and Randy Tomlin will take a walk out to the mound and signal to the Tom Sox bullpen. So Lane Duff won't be able to escape an inning. The The Sox will make a call to the bullpen, and we'll be back with the pitching change on the other side. An 8-5 game here in Strasburg. Caden Harris will step out onto the mound looking to put a tourniquet on the bleeding for the Tom Sox here in the bottom of the fifth. The Express have scored 6 runs after the Sox scored a 5 spot in the top of the inning, and Harris is going to have to work out of a situation with 2 outs, runners on first and second, and the 2-hole hitter Paul Osting at the plate.
Yeah, just not the way that you'd want it to go for the Sox, but hopefully Caden Harris will be able to pick up the slack as he steps onto the mound in his first playoff appearance, or his second playoff appearance. He appeared for a little bit against Stanton.
So far this inning, Sox pitchers have walked 6 Strasburg batters, and it's not a recipe for success, especially at a game of this magnitude.
Certainly not, but there's a long way to go. We are really just at the halfway point of this one, and the Sox put up 5 before this. If they're going to want to win this game, they're going to need to play consistent defense that we saw in the first 2 innings. And even in the next 2 innings, even though there were 2 solo shots from Strasburg, other than that, they really kept them at bay. But if they're going to score, they're going to need to back themselves up on defense.
Well, it'll be in the hands of Caden Harris, the lefty who will be an upcoming freshman at Virginia Wise. As Harris settles in on the mound to deliver a first pitch to Osting, who takes a hack, switch hitter batting righty against the lefty Harris.
And Harris isn't going to surprise you with his speed, but his off-speed stuff is pretty good, and it'll get you swinging. It's got a nice slider that comes from right to left.
So Osting behind 0-1 to Harris. Here's the next offering. That one down low. Tavares has to block it. The count now 1-1.
Yeah, it's imperative you get out of this inning in this position, right? With 2 gone, 2 runners on base and 1 in scoring position, you cannot let this game get out of hand. It's not out of hand right now.
Here's the next pitch from Harris. As Osting flies that one. Foul territory down the third base line. Nias on the run, but it'll get out of the stadium. The count moves to 1-2.
Now you're 1 strike away. And Harris, if you can pitch another one like that, but have them pop it into fair territory or where Nias can go grab it, you just keep doing what you're doing. So far, his first 3 pitches have been pretty good.
Harris looking to finally end the hurt for the Sox this inning. There's the 1-2 to Osting. And it's a called strike 3. Caden Harris comes in and punches out Paul Osting as he stares at strike 3. Score now 8-5. We'll head to the top of the 6th and see if the Sox can respond. Welcome back to the VBL Championship here. Game 1 from First Bank Park in Strasburg, Virginia, 8-5 the score in favor of the Express. Anderson French will lead off for the Tom Sox, looking to respond after a 6 spot from the Express in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, you put up a 5 spot in the top of the 5th, and the last thing you want to do is have the other team put up more than you in the next frame, and that's exactly what the Express did. But a long way to go here for the Sox as Anderson takes a first pitch ball.
The big lefty on the day is 1 for 2 as Hutchinson fires the 0 pitch up high for ball 2. And now 2-0 the count.
And a lot of people will forget that Hutchinson did not deal a great inning in his last one of work for the Express.
French takes a big hack on the 2-0 pitch. Can't connect. And 2-1 now the count. Here's the 2-1 from Hutchinson. French takes for ball 3.
Yeah, we talked going into this one as well that the pitching staff for both sides was going to be thin, and it certainly showed today. It's going to be about whose bat gets hotter.
3-1 to French and another big cut. A little tardy on the fastball to run the count full 3-2. Hutchinson looking for his first punch out. Here's the 3-2 to French. Swing and a miss. Blew the heater right by him. Anderson French goes down swinging.
It's going to be Hutchinson's first strikeout of the day. Finally get some consistent work there on the mound, and now he's got a same-hand hitter in Hudson Luderman.
That'll be Hudson Luderman. Hutchinson working out of the windup here off the mound, delivers the 0-0 pitch. Luderman skies that one into foul territory, out of play down the left field line.
Luderman hit a liner in between second and third to get himself on base with a single and then an error on the throw.
Here's the 0-1. Luderman takes for ball 1, fastball down low.
If you're the Sox, you want to work long at bats and swing when you need to swing.
Huddy grounds that one back up the middle, gloved by the second baseman, but he can't hold on to it cleanly, and an error from Eddie Castillo puts Hudson Luderman on first.
Those are the kind of breaks that you're going to need if you're the Tom Sox players. You got to take advantage of them, and you know, just by playing that ball and getting it into play, Hudson Luderman caused an E4.
So now Evan Taveras is 0 for 2 today. Both times he went down swinging. Luderman takes a few extra steps off of first. Hutchinson gives him a look. Working out of the stretch now, he fires the first pitch to Taveras, who takes strike 1.
Taveras, a guy with a lot of pop on his bat. Any contact will go far. It just depends on how far.
Hutchinson taking a long look at Luderman over at first. Now will come set. Ready with the 0-1. Fastball down low for ball 1 to even up at 1 apiece. This is a big spot for the Sox, needing to find a response to not let momentum slip too far out of their grasp. Luderman takes an extra step off of first. Hutchinson gives him a look. Luderman fakes the takeoff. Taveras swings. He can't connect. So the count now 1-2.
Taveras, a guy that has struck out more than he's been walked with 13 strikeouts and 6 walks on the season. He's going to need to be patient here.
On a 1-2 count, it's going to have to be a fighter. Hutchinson out of the stretch. The 1-2. Down low. Makes the count 2-2. Taveras would love to turn this one over to the 9-hitter Walker Buchanan with a chance in runners in scoring position. As now we'll have a mound visit from catcher Eddie Morales and pitcher Braden Hutchinson. Not sure exactly what they're discussing. Maybe something about Hudson Luderman at first base, the lead he's taking.
He has been stepping off quite a bit, but he also faked going that one time, so maybe that's what they're talking about. He's a speedy guy around those bases, and once he gets going, if it were to be a hit-and-run situation, could easily get himself on third.
Hutchinson will return back to the mound. Morales to the plate. 2-2 count. Tavares trying to find his way on base. Hutchinson gets his sign. He'll look over to Luderman. Now he comes set. Delivers the 2-2. Evan takes down low to run the count full.
It's a great working count now by Evan Tavares, and if you can work a walk here, that would be the major play for the Sox with just one gone here, top of the 6th.
Luderman leading off of first. Hutchinson in a 3-2 count. Evan Tavares, the pitch. Tapped foul, and Evan stays alive. Saxon Roberts letting everybody know it's a foul ball.
Good eyes there from the bullpen pitcher.
So now Hutchinson and Tavares locked in a 3-2 count once more. They'll do battle. Luderman still leading off of first. Takes one more step. He won't go. The next pitch, Tavares grounds over to short. Gloved there. The throw to second in time. Throw to first in time as well. And the Express turn a 6-4-3 double play to deny the Sox in the top of the 6th. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th and see the score will change. Caden Harris returns to the mound for his first full inning of work here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Looking to hold the Express lead at 3 as Strasburg's really found their hitting and walking shoes after the last inning where they scored 6 runs.
Yeah, they've now scored in 3 straight innings of work, including a pair of solo shots in back-to-back innings in the bottom of the 3rd and 4th. And then, yes, as you mentioned, the 6th spot to recapture the lead in the bottom of the 5th. But the Sox put up a scoreless inning of work, and now they got some work to do on defense. That inning was kind of an anomaly with 6 walks among 2 pitchers, including 5 credited to Lane Duff. You got to think it can't really get worse from there, and Caden Harris just has to do his job.
Eddie Castillo takes a first pitch fastball from Harris for ball 1. Castillo on the day. He's hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning, but 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out in his other 2 at-bats as he takes strike 1 on the fastball from Harris.
Every outing that Harris has pitched, he looks to be more and more comfortable out there on the mound. A guy that hasn't pitched in a collegiate game, and this is his first look at it.
1-1 pitch. Bounces in front of the plate and into Tavares' glove to make the count 2-1. Harris working out of the windup, the 2-1. That one up high. Count out 3-1. Caden was a late season addition to help bolster the Sox bullpen as he delivers the 3-1. That misses for ball 4. So another walk for the Sox and a leadoff base runner for the Express in the bottom of the 6th. Now Landon Beaver face the lefty Harris after walking last time against the lefty Duff.
8 walks for the Sox pitching staff today, but 7 of them coming in the last 2 innings of work.
It's a kind of back-breaking stat that you never want to hear for your own side. Harris looking over at Castillo, who's bouncing around at first, delivers a first pitch breaking ball for a ball to the first baseman, Beaver. Like you said, Landon, Harris, his first taste of collegiate baseball, albeit at a little bit of a different area as he fires over to first. It's not exactly the metal bat turf fields that you might see in the land of collegiate athletics, but certainly a character-building league for a young guy like him to get his start in. As he delivers the 1-0 to Beaver. That one gets past Taveras off the backstop. It'll careen to the left. Castillo will advance to second. He'll put himself in scoring position with nobody out.
That's really the first pitch in a long time that we've seen sail to the backstop for the Sox. Taveras has done a good job of keeping those balls within the batter's box, and that one wasn't able to stop.
So now in a 2-0 count to Beaver. Harris going to work around it. Here's the 2-0. Up high for ball 3. 3-0 count now between Harris and Beaver. We'll see if Harris can find the zone here. Here's the next pitch. That one skied for ball 4. Second straight walk for Caden Harris. Put runners on first and second.
Looks like we're going to get some movement in the bullpen. A little signal from Randy Tomlin. And we'll see who is going to start warming up in there. An abundance of green shirts to our right. A lot to choose from for the Sox.
A lot to choose from indeed. But Harris having to face the problems on the field. Runners on first and second. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Deliver a first pitch to Jake McCarter. That one high and tight. And now Evan Taveras will go have a conversation with the young lefty.
Looks like it's going to be Saxon Roberts getting loose out there for the Sox, the Auburn reliever. Came in late against Waynesboro to see the game out in the first round of this Valley League playoffs, and well, he might be coming into a bit of a higher pressure position.
And the VBL championship, without a doubt, higher profile spot than game 1 of the VBL South playoffs. Caden Harris needs to find the zone here. He delivers the 1-0 pitch to McCarter. Carter lines that one to second. Glove by Luderman, who goes to the bag at second, but it's not in time. So the line out gets 1 out, but Luderman unable to turn 2. And now that'll turn things over to Brett Mosley.
Not a whole lot Luderman could have done there, although his momentum took him towards second. Castillo's lead off of second wasn't big enough, and they got to the base right at the same time, but obviously Castillo was able to get his foot on there first.
So now lefty-lefty matchup between Harris and Mosley, who is 1 for 2 today with a strikeout, a ground out, and a single. Harris checks Castillo at second. Now will come to the plate. And a pitch that's just outside for ball 1.
That one looked a little better coming out of the hands of Harris, though. An off-speed pitch that just missed the strike zone, but it made Derek Toff think about it back there.
Harris trying to work out of 2 leadoff base runners. He issued free passes to. The 1-0 to Mosley. Down low for ball 2. Harris will exchange baseballs here in the 2-0 hole to the Ole Miss Rebel and Brett Mosley. Harris working out of the windup here. 2 runners on. The next pitch. Swing and a miss. Mosley didn't really complete a full swing there, but tried to hold back as his body denied him the check swing. Now a 2-1 count.
Good pitch there from Harris to kind of jam him up, make him really think about that check swing and cause him to complete the full cycle.
Two-one count. Harris fires. Mosley fouls that one back off the screen. Count now 2-2 between he and Harris.
Just got to take it one pitch at a time if you're Harris. Now you've worked it to an even count. What do you do here? What's been working for you? What will cause you to get this strikeout?
Harris gives a quick look to Castillo at second. Still hasn't gotten himself set on the mound. Now he steps in, as does Mosley in the box. The 2-2 pitch. They called strike three. Caden Harris paints the outside corner for out number 2, and he's 1 out away from erasing the 2 leadoff walks.
Good pitch there from Harris. Really froze Brett Mosley, and well, now you have a chance to get Jay Douglas out after he had an RBI single.
Here's the first pitch to Jay Douglas, who takes ball 1.
Just a bit high there from Harris. He likes his fastball a lot right now. He just got to lower it, find his spot in the middle of the zone.
1-0 count now between Douglas and Harris. The next pitch. This is outside for ball 2. We mentioned Harris is yet to pitch in a collegiate game, but being thrown into a high-leverage spot, championship environment, no better test of fire for a young arm. Next pitch to Douglas. That one won't find the strike zone. And now a 3-0 count. Douglas and Harris. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one finds the zone. Harris finding his way back into this at-bat.
You see, now that he found that zone with the fastball, Douglas is going to be expecting similar of the same thing. So we'll see what Harris goes back to try and catch Douglas off guard.
3-1. Douglas takes ball 4. So the base is now loaded. 3 walks from the Express in this inning. And Eddie Morales, chance for an RBI.
Bases loaded now for the Express. This did not go well for the Sox last time out. You really got to retire this batter or else it could spell disaster for Charlottesville.
Morales will have the advantage, the righty versus the lefty. Harris steps on the slab. Still working out of the stretch. Here's the first pitch. Up high with a fastball for ball 1. Sun fully down here in Strasburg. The dark night sky. All that's left. Here's the 1-0. As Morales fouls that one off, the bat goes flying into the screen, and the ball ends up in the Little League field to our left. Count now 1-1.
Yeah, that bat, it's a good thing that there's a fence right there blocking the stanchion behind it, because there would have been about 20 people in danger of getting their heads taken off from that wooden bat.
So hopefully that pitch a confidence booster for Caden Harris. Looking to avoid any damage here in a 1-1 count with the bases loaded and 2 out. The pitch. Ground ball over to third. Nias on a slide, can't play it. 1 run will score. Here comes Beaver from second. He'll score. And a 10-5 game here at First Bank Park on the RBI single from Eddie Morales.
Yeah, if you're Randy Tomlin, I think it's time to pull the plug on the Caden Harris experiment. He obviously is not dealing well against this Strasburg lineup, and, well, you got to find someone that maybe throws a little bit more heat to combat these Strasburg batters.
With runners on first and second, that hook won't come. That'll be the 9-hole hitter Brooks Henderson, who delivered a backbreaker yesterday. Trying to do the same right there on that first pitch, swinging through it to the screen for strike one.
Just got to focus on one pitch at a time if you're Harris. Get out of this inning with minimal damage done and keep the Sox in a spot where they could potentially work back bit by bit in these last 3 innings.
Next pitch to Henderson, down low for ball one. Henderson on the day, 0 for 2. He did walk last inning. So we'll see a 1-1 pitch from Harris. Up high for ball 2. Charlottesville led this game going into the bottom of the 5th inning, 5-2. Since then, 8 unanswered runs for the Express. Next pitch from Harris, fouled away to make the count 2 apiece. Harris looking to escape the inning. 2-2 pitch. Bounces in the dirt. Tavares blocks it. And now a full count. Runners will be in motion on the next pitch.
Robert still getting warm in the Sox bullpen. They're going to let Caden Harris try and ride out this inning.
Harris ready. 3-2. Runners go. Swinging a foul tip. Just out of the mid of Evan Tavares. Thought he had strike 3 from this angle, but it squeaks out of the glove. And they'll do the 3-2 once more.
It was a good pitch there by Harris. He found where he wanted it to go, and yeah, as you said, just missed the glove of Tavares.
The runners leave. The 3-2 once again, up high. And ball 4 will load the bases once again. And as we get to the top of the order with Brady Bowles, Randy Tomlin will signal to the bullpen, indicating that Caden Harris's outing is over. He'll get a full inning after recording 3 outs, but that'll be all for Harris. He'll leave Saxon Roberts 3 base runners. We'll be back on the other side of this pitching change. Saxon Roberts on the mound for the Sox, looking to end the continuous hurt here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 outs, the bases loaded for the Express one-hitter in Brady Bowles. Roberts, a high-velocity guy, firing out of the stretch. His first pitch lined over towards us, and he'll get just behind the bleachers to our left.
And that ball had some serious pop on it. And Saxon, compared to Caden Harris, his velo is much more north.
The next pitch is a looping line drive back up the middle. Soroy can't get it. Luderman can't get it. Everyone's safe. And the Express now lead 11-5.
Yeah, just uncharacteristic from the infield to fumble a play like that. A little bit of miscommunication from Luderman and Soroy, and now the game is suddenly becoming out of reach for the Sox.
So in back-to-back innings, Brady Bowles will single. And the first pitch to Austin is a called strike. Sorry, it's a ball. Here's the next pitch. That one misses down low to make it 2-0. Sox might be out of bullpen options after Saxon Roberts. There's not many other guys that are in uniform available to pitch today. So here's the 2-0 to Austin. Takes a hearty hack and can't connect. So Osting ahead 2-1 here in the count. So you'll see the next pitch from Saxon Roberts. Pops that one up left side, but it gets out of play. So Osting and Roberts in a 2-2 count. Roberts looking to end it. 2-2. Up high to run the count full. So Runnels will be on the move. And Osting could bring in some more runs for the Express here. 3-2 from Roberts. Swing and a miss. So Roberts tourniquets the bleeding. 11-5 the score. The Express leading after 6 will head to the top of the 7th. 11-5 the score here at First Bank Park. As Walker Buchanan steps to the plate in the top of the 7th, he'll face a new arm on the mound for the Express. It's Bryce Mitchell, not the UFC fighter, but the sophomore from Bucknell. The righty will take the bump for the first time this postseason.
Yeah, he's going to look to deliver some knockout blows to the Sox here in an 11-5 game. The Sox really got to start going here.
First pitch to Buchanan, line back up the middle for a base hit. So the 9-hole hitter turns things over to the top of the order with a leadoff single for Walker Buchanan.
That's exactly what you need out of the Sox. A guy that uncharacteristically gets himself a single. Maybe that's the spark that they need, to see someone that has been struggling as of late get on base via a hit. It can provide some juice, and now we're into the meat and potatoes of this Sox lineup.
So now Perry Hargett digs into the box. He's 0 for 2 today with a sac fly back in that 5th inning. Mitchell delivers the first pitch to Hargett. Takes that for a strike. Mitchell's been solid on the year in 13 games. 4.23 ERA in the regular season. Next pitch, a fastball for a called strike. Hargett quickly behind, 0-2.
Yeah, 13.5 ERA in his time with Bucknell, but he's really been good for the Strasburg Express with 18 Ks on the season.
Hargett trying to stay alive. There, 0-2 count. Mitchell fires. Hargett lines that one into right center. It'll get down for a base hit. Douglas plays it on a hop, but he misplays it. Hargett heading to second. The throw way over the head of the second baseman, and it'll roll loosely to the cutoff man, Mitchell. But now runners on second and third for the Sox, courtesy of 2 back-to-back base hits from Hargett and Buchanan.
And how about a guy like Buchanan, as big as he is, being able to move around the bases and get himself 2 bags on that one? Granted, the fielding by the outfielder wasn't great, but he still was able to make himself in scoring position, and now you've got 2 in scoring position.
So Hargett advances on the E8 after he singles. Now Kyle Langley a chance to bring in some more runs as that throw goes to the backstop. Count now 1-0.
And if you're the Sox, you really got to keep your foot on the gas right now. You've got a chance to cut into this lead. Don't need to get it all in one swing. Just get it brick by brick.
So Mitchell now back on the mound, taking his time. So look over at Buchanan at third and Hargett at second. Now comes to the plate. Langley takes that one for another ball. 2-0 the count to Kyle. Maybe a conscious effort here from the Express pitching staff to work around the guy who's homered already in this ball game. Here's the next pitch. Langley grounds that one over towards short. Nice play there. Fires on to Beaver at first in time. Brady Bowles, a nice play to get Langley, but an RBI, fielder's choice, cuts the lead to 5.
Yeah, it's exactly what you need. Just chipping away. And now in a 5-run game and a runner in scoring position, and Perry Hargett, a fast guy that even if the ball were to go to the backstop, I feel like he's the kind of guy that would take that chance to get to home plate.
So now it's Jackson Soroy. Mitchell fires in a first pitch. Down in the dirt for ball 1. Jackson pretty quiet today. He's walked in that 5th inning, but grounded out to third base. His other 2 at-bats. The 1-0 to Jackson. Nearly clips him. It'll go to the backstop. Count now 2-0.
Well, that one wasn't an opportunity for Perry to steal home. Just that ball pestered off the backstop and was going to pop right back to Morales in the catching glove.
So Mitchell, with 1 out, Hargett on third, trying to limit the damage. Next pitch to Soroy, swung on and missed. Price goes with the heater to make it a 2-1 count. Mitchell once more. Soroy cuts through that one for strike 2, and the count even at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Soroy's taken 2 big hacks at the last couple of pitches from Mitchell, and this is a big pitch right here. It's either 2 outs or maybe an RBI.
Target off at third. Here's the 2-2. Soroy golfs that one into right, heading towards foul territory. It gets out of the stadium in the foliage, but foul.
Good way for Soroy to stay alive there, and considering how short this field is and where that ball was going towards, I was kind of hoping that the ball would come left of that foul pole and maybe put itself over the fences, but now Soroy has another chance to take a hack at it.
So they'll do the 2-2 once again. Mitchell fires, Soroy waves at it and misses for strike 3. So 2 outs now for the cleanup man, Brock Clayton.
And if you're Brock, you've got to be aggressive. Down 5 runs, a runner in scoring position. You've got to try your best to get it into fair territory and in between a gap, or maybe even just go for the long shot, but be aggressive. Don't look at the pitches.
Mitchell's first pitch to Brock. It's a fastball outside for ball 1. Sox trailing by 5, 11-6 here in the top of the 7th inning at First Bank Park. Mitchell's next pitch to Clayton is a ground ball over towards first. It'll get through into right field, so an RBI single from Brock Clayton cuts the Express lead to 4.
You just got to keep chipping away if you're the Sox, and Clayton did exactly what he was supposed to do there. A perfectly placed ball between Beaver and Castillo, and now you have a game that could definitely swing in the change of 1 swing with just a 4-run game here in Strasburg.
Patrick Nias now at the plate. Nias is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and 2 groundouts. First pitch to Nias, he takes for ball 1. Pat has come up big for the Sox in clutch spots this season, as have a mound visit here for Mitchell. Score 11-7.
Yeah, Nias is going to need to rectify his strategy at the plate. He struck out once today and grounded out from short to second each time in his last 2 at-bats. But he has a lot of pop in that bat, and when it gets off the bat in a good spot, it's been really positive for him so far this season. I'm hopeful to say that he can line one into the short center field areas and left center or right center, and maybe even bring Brock home, but wouldn't be too unhappy with just a regular base hit either. They just need something at this point. With an 11-7 ball game, you're still in it. You've worked your way back a little bit. You just got to keep chipping away.
Well, Mitchell will step back onto the mound as Eddie Morales turns to home plate. Bryce Mitchell looking to retire Nias and avoid any further damage. So check Clayton over at first. The throw to Beaver nearly gets away. And now Bryce back on the bump, looking to work here. First pitch to Nias. Nearly gets inside and hits him. Pat scoots out of the way for ball 1. There's Mitchell's next pitch to Nias. That one misses for ball 2. Pat in a good hitter's count here with a chance to prolong this inning. So it looks as if there is someone warming in that Strasburg bullpen. Next pitch to Nias, he takes a big cut and misses. Count out 2-1.
Yeah, Nias in a hitter's count right now. Just trying to stay ahead of Mitchell at the plate. He's done well so far, but he needs to be patient.
Next pitch to Nias, called strike for strike 2. Not trying to prolong the inning for the Sox. Mitchell trying to shut it down. Infield back at their normal depth. Next pitch, Clayton takes off. Nias lines that one into shallow right. Coming on is the right fielder who can't make the catch. It'll roll to the wall. Nias on his horse, heading for third. Clayton to the plate, he'll score. Throw to third, not in time, and it gets away. Nias heading for the plate, and he will score. A Little League homer for Patrick Nias, and the lead cut to 2.
It's going to be a triple for Patrick Nias, and he's going to advance home on the throw. But talk about a momentum swing, Luke. You're down 11-5 going into this inning, and now it's 11-9.
And Anderson French, the Hokie at the plate, will look to continue this big inning for the Sox. 4 runs already in the top of the 7th. 2 outs, however.
Just a fantastic play there.
Now, Paul Osting couldn't make the catch out in right field. That allowed Nias to get to third base and then eventually score on the errant throw. Anderson French ahead 1-0. Mitchell's next pitch is French pops that one up towards the parking lot.
Hey, he took a hack at that one. French really trying to get a home run sooner rather than later. He's been close in his last couple of games. Is this the moment to bring the Sox within 1, maybe?
1-1 now to Mitchell. And he misses down low to French. 2-1 now.
Yeah, Mitchell, I think you got to think having that play go against your team, and you could have had an out. Instead, you didn't. Or you could have had a base runner in scoring position. Now, instead, it's an 11-9 game. You have to pitch another batter.
Next pitch to French, misses again.
He's just totally lost his mojo out there on the mound.
3-1 count to French. You don't want to lose one here to Anderson, a guy who could just as easily send one over the wall to make it a 1-run game. Mitchell's next offering. French takes for ball 4.
Right now, I think a walk is way more beneficial than a base hit because it, 1, throws the pitcher off, and 2, now he's got to worry about a guy on first, and it brings up a guy that has been able to pull balls to the left all day today, and Hudson Luderman with a double to his name.
So Luderman at the plate. Mitchell given the grace here to continue. With Anderson French off of first. First pitch to Luderman. This is up high, and it gets past the catcher Morales. French will advance to second, put himself in scoring position. Hudson Luderman, the tying run at the dish.
And if you had told me that Hudson Luderman would be the tying run at the beginning of this inning, I would have called you crazy. But that's just the kind of momentum swings that are going to be telling in this best-of-3 series.
Next pitch to Hudson. Luderman chops that one over to third. Play made, the throw over to Beaver, and it's picked. A great pick from Landon Beaver. Retires the Sox, but 4 runs, cuts the lead to 2 as Saxon Roberts will retake the mound in the bottom of the 7th after we stretch. Saxon Roberts takes to the bump for the Tom Sox after a 4 spot in the top of the 7th. They still trail by 2, however, and we get to the meat of the order for the Express with Eddie Castillo, Landon Beaver, and Jake McCarter. Roberts, the hard-throwing righty, fires the first pitch to Castillo, up high for ball 1.
If Roberts can lower that fastball into the zone, it's going to spell disaster and troubles for the Express, because that ball is going to come to you before you can even think about swinging.
The next pitch to Castillo, in the very same spot, fastball, 2-0 now the count. Bottom 7, 2-run lead for the Express. Next pitch, Castillo a little tardy for strike 1.
It's exactly where he needs to be. Just release it a little higher than you normally would and have it angled down. It's a good pitch there from Saxon.
Next one, inside for ball 3. So Castillo looking to work a leadoff walk here for the Express. The 3-1 from Saxon, up high for ball 4. Castillo will find himself on first with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, another walk there for Castillo. He's now worked 3 free passes on the day, 2 of them walks, one of them a hit by pitch way back in the top of the first.
Now Landon Beaver will get a chance with the advantage lefty-righty matchup between he and Saxon Roberts. He's already homered once today. It's the first pitch from Roberts, fouled back off the netting for strike 1.
Yeah, it's good for Roberts to get ahead in the count. That's something the Sox pitchers have struggled with massively today, is getting behind in counts and then having to work back. When you're ahead in the count, it makes your decisions a lot more easier and the hitter's decisions a lot more harder.
Roberts working out of the stretch. Castillo getting a lead off of first. The 0-1. Beaver takes. Just missed for ball 1. Tom Sox dugout thought that one clipped the zone. Home plate umpire Derek Toff disagrees. 1-1 count to the cleanup man, Landon Beaver. Next pitch fouled back to the screen to make the count 1-2.
There's definitely a little bit of a more lively vibe for the people cheering for the Tom Sox, whether that's the players, the fans, or people involved in the organization. You can feel the tide beginning to change.
Roberts 1-2 to Beaver. Ground ball to second. Luderman plays it on a hop. Little bobble going to second, but he gets the throw off to Soroy, whose return throw to first is not in time, but fielder's choice gets the lead runner for the Sox. Now Roberts will face Jake McCarter.
Well, you keep a runner on first, but you get an out. So if anything, the Sox are up after that play.
So McCarter, who's had an up-and-down day, walked in the 5th inning, struck out in the 1st and the 4th, and lined out in the 6th. With the runner on first, and is Landon Beaver, he'll go to work. Roberts a quick look to Beaver, who has a sizable lead at first. Now will come to the plate. Carter lines that one into center. Langley coming on. He'll pull up and make the catch for out number 2.
Good fielding there from Kyle Langley. A ball that was almost called a line drive because it didn't have a lot of lift on it, but Langley able to calmly come in and make the grab, and good awareness to see that Beaver was coming back to first and not overthrowing French.
So now Brett Mosley, the lefty, will get his favorable matchup against Roberts. Saxon looks to strand the runner at first. Here's the first pitch. That one a called strike with the heater. Saxon's been really solid after that leadoff walk to Eddie Castillo. For some weak contact, nearly almost garnered a double play. Here's the next offering. Big hack and a miss from Mosley to go behind 0-2.
Saxon, when he finds his groove, he's one of the hardest pitchers to hit off of in the Valley League. pitching upwards of 93, 94, maybe even a little bit of 95 in them.
Roberts gets his sign. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder over to first. French, a nice play, takes a tumble nearly, manages to hang on to it. Gets some cheers for the Sox dugout. Saxon Roberts has the team fired up, and a scoreless frame for the Sox will send them to the top of the 8th, looking to equalize here on the Tom Sox Broadcast Network. New arm on the rubber for the Express here in the top of the 8th. Strasburg looking to hold on to their 2-run lead in Game 1 of the VBL Championship. New man on the mound for Strasburg will be Cooper Bryan, the Pennsylvania native.
Yeah, out of Shepherd College, he's a junior, standing 6'3" and 200 pounds on the slab for the Express. Has pitched in 6 games this season for Strasburg and earns a 2-0 record in 9 innings pitched and a 3.0 ERA with 8 strikeouts. In an odd motion, you know, his elbow kind of whips back and forth when he pitches. It creates a little bit of a eye distortion for the Tom Sox batters.
Yeah. Bryan pitched against Winchester in their opening contest, the VBL playoffs. Went 1 inning without allowing a run as his first pitch to Evan Tavares misses inside.
Starting off with an off speed, that may be more of his thing. Haven't had enough eyes on him yet to really tell what his bread and butter is.
Here's the next pitch from Bryan. Tavares lines that one out to deep left center field. Douglas on the run. He won't be able to get it. Tavares splits the gap. It'll knock off the wall. Tavares heading for second. Douglas's throw will pull him off the bag. It goes to the catcher Morales, but Evan Tavares, a leadoff double here in the top of the 8th, and the Sox dugout is buzzing.
Yeah, they really started buzzing when Saxon came off of the mound and after he ended the inning, and he started yelling and bumping into everybody. They seem juiced in there, Luke.
So now it'll be Walker Buchanan, who got the 7th inning started off on a high note with a leadoff single. As Bryan will deliver the first pitch here to Walker. Buchanan fouls that one back off the screen for strike 1.
And that Buchanan single in the top of the 7th has got to be a huge confidence boost for him. A guy that hasn't been able to get his bat on the ball much this season, but to do it in a championship game and really spark a comeback or a comeback attempt for the Sox, he's got to be buzzing at the plate right now.
Sox down to their last 6 outs. Here's the next pitch to Buchanan, a breaking ball. That goes inside for ball 1. Tying run at the plate. Tavares can cut it to 1 if he should reach the plate. There's the 1-1 to Buchanan. Walker takes as that one hits him in the leg. So now that turned things over to the top of the order. Runners on first and second, nobody out in a bunt situation for Perry Hargett.
Yeah, Perry, a guy that has mastered the art of the sack bunt. I'd say he's one of the fastest players in the Valley League, Luke. When he gets his bunt going and those wheels moving towards first, more often than not, it seems like he gets there in time.
Bryan, runners on first and second. Hargett it will square now. He pulls back as the pitch sails outside for ball 1. Feel the energy starting to radiate from the Tom Sox dugout as they're starting to find the bats again. 1-0 count to Hargett. He squares, pulls back as that one misses inside for ball 2. You'd like a sacrifice bunt, but if Bryan can't find the strike zone, you could be content with working a walk and loading the bases for Kyle Langley.
The infield playing very much in the grass. Beaver moving way up from first in an attempt to catch the bunt.
Hargett bunts that one foul and popped up for strike 1. So 2-1 count now. See if Hargett still wants to lay one down. The 2-1 Hargett squares. He pulls back and watches that one sail for ball 3. Sox dugout lively, talking to everyone from Perry himself, Walker Buchanan, to even the Express players on the field. 3-1 from Bryan. Hargett squares, drops that one down. He got sawed off. Throw over to first is offline, and it goes into right field. Tavares scores. Hargett to second. Buchanan at third. And Perry Hargett has brought the Sox within 1.
Fantastic bunt there, and you said it best, Luke. Hargett kind of got stuttered off of the start, but he got those wheels moving and wheeled his way over to first, and now he's on second base after the botched throw over to first. Tavares will score, and the Sox are in this game. Luke, just one run away from tying it, and he's 90 feet away from the plate.
And Kyle Langley now with a chance to give the Sox the lead for the second time today. First pitch from Bryan. Langley fouls that one into the Sox dugout. Everyone having to dodge out of the way. So now Bryan trying to avoid the danger. In an 0-1 count, Langley skies that one off the netting.
Langley has home run on the brain for sure. After what he did in the top of the 5th, he's got all the confidence in the world and kind of the same position he was in that spot.
0-2 to Kyle. Here's Bryan's pitch. Langley a ground ball over to third. Throw to first in time. But Kyle Langley has tied this one up at 11 apiece. On that play, Perry Hargett advances to third. The go-ahead run 90 feet away for Jackson Soroy, the hero of last night. Can he do it again today? Or actually, I need a correction on that. The hero of this morning. Walked it off at 1 a.m. this morning. Chance to give the Sox the lead at 10 p.m. First pitch to Soroy. Misses up high for ball 1.
And that only being one out on the board, the Sox have a lot of rain and leeway to kind of take some chances, be aggressive, and I think that's one of Soroy's positive aspects.
Soroy flies that one into right field, heading towards the line, and it drops foul. Osting gave chase, decided to avoid diving at it, and it goes just foul. So now a 1-1 count. to the shortstop. Soroy walked off the South Championship Series with a RBI single. Here's the 1-1. Soroy takes for ball 2. At the start of the season that Soroy had, few could have predicted that he'd be the 3-hitter in the Sox lineup in the Valley League Championship. Parts of the year he's batting below the Mendoza line. Now he's their premier bat. The next pitch, a breaking ball that misses to make the count 3-1. There's not much relief for Cooper Bryan as Brock Clayton stands on deck, as well as Patrick Neas, who had the RBI triple last inning. 3-1 to Soroy. Swing and a miss.
He wanted all of that one, Luke, and he took a big hack at it, but now you're in a payoff pitch scenario, and the battle of the minds here between Soroy and Cooper Bryan.
Full count pitch with the infield in. The 3-2. Soroy takes for ball 4. So now the double play in order for Strasburg, but it gives Brock Clayton a chance to be the hero.
The hero of the moment indeed, and they still got to do a bit of defense, but if the Sox were to go ahead in this game, it'd be a huge confidence boost and a momentum swing.
First pitch to Clayton, fouls it back off the screen. He wanted that one, and the Tom Sox dugout knows it. A guy that if he gets a pitch in his wheelhouse could turn this into a 14-11 game in an instant. Bryan on the mound. Will deliver the 0-1. Soroy takes off. Clayton takes for ball 1. 2 runners now in scoring position for the Sox, with Soroy at second, Hargett leading off of third.
Really, really smart play there from Soroy. It leaves first base open now for Clayton, and now 2 runners in scoring position.
Pitch from Bryan to Clayton, down low in the dirt, blocked by Morales. Now a 2-1 count. An electric atmosphere here in Strasburg. Both sets of fans having everything to cheer about for both of their squads. Here's the 2-1 to Clayton. Swing and a miss. Bryan goes with the heater, and Brock can't connect. The count even at 2 apiece. Two and 2, 1 out, top of the 8th. The pitch to Clayton. Ground ball, gloved by Beaver. The throw to the plate to get Hargett is in time. A beautiful play from Landon Beaver gets Perry Hargett at the plate, and this game remains tied.
Yeah, that was a really heads-up play there by the first baseman, kind of similar to what we saw last night between Luderman and French, except that they didn't try and turn the double play, and I don't blame them. With now you have Jackson Soroy over at third, so same scenario for the Sox. The only difference is that there are 2 gone here, and the sack option is definitely out of play if you were thinking about it.
Randy Tomlin having a discussion with home plate umpire Derek Topp if the tag was properly applied. Tough to tell from our angle as we're down the right field line, but a solid play from Landon Beaver keeps this game tied. 2 outs still in the top of the 8th, an 11-11 ball game. Brock Clayton at first, Jackson Soroy at third, and Patrick Neas will try and pick up the mantle and give the Sox the lead.
One of the hottest bats as of late in this game. Neas got on his horse to get the triple and then complete the inside the park or Little League home run, whatever you want to call it. Scoring and really getting the Sox on fire.
Fresh count. Cooper Bryan on the mound. Patrick Neas in the box. First pitch from Bryan to Neas is a ball that misses. 1-0 now the count. Bryan looking to find his way out of this rough inning. The 1-0 to Pat. Takes that one for strike one with the fastball. Patrick didn't really seem to want to offer at those first two pitches, trying to feel out the arm slot and velocity of Cooper Bryan. Here's the 1-1. Nias, a big hack at the breaking ball, and he can't connect. A nasty pitch from Cooper Bryan. Nias behind 1-2.
Yeah, Nias almost swinging out of his shoes there. His whole body turned, and yeah, he really wanted all of that one. And he's down to his last strike now. Really needs something here.
We'll see if Bryan goes to it again. The next pitch, breaking ball, misses outside for ball 2.
Now an even count. You're down to a just one pitch scenario.
2-2 the count to the third baseman, Pat Nias. Sox home run derby participant earlier on this year. Nias takes strike 3 called on the inside corner. And that ends the inning for the Sox. They tie it up 11-11. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Saxon Roberts tries to preserve the tie. After we had a chance to catch our breath, Saxon Roberts takes the mound for the bottom of the 8th inning in an 11-11 ball game here at First Bank Park in Landon. This has been a whirlwind back and forth we go. And the Sox just trying to hold this one at a stalemate, attempt to take the lead in the 9th.
Yeah, Saxon pitched the first scoreless inning against Strasburg for the first time since the bottom of the 2nd, looking to continue that reign here.
Roberts will face 7, 8, 9 for the Express. Jay Douglas, Eddie Morales, and Brooks Henderson. First pitch to Douglas, missed. Now Roberts looking to work here on a 1-0 count. His pitch. This is outside for ball 2.
Yeah, still dealing that fastball pretty well, and he's going to want to make quick work of the Express here in order to preserve himself for the 9th.
You've mentioned many times on broadcasts, Roberts not lacking in any kind of velocity capacities. Here's the 2-0. Douglas fouls that one off onto the league field to our left. At times he tends to struggle with his command, but when he can find his stuff, when he can locate the breaking ball, he is one of the best pitchers in the Valley Baseball League. 2-1 from Roberts to Douglas. That one fly down the right field line into foul territory, and it'll get into the Sox bullpen to make it a 2-2 count.
Good job from Saxon to work back out there, finding himself down 2-0. Now working 2 foul tips and a potential strikeout here.
2-2 now to Douglas. Roberts delivers. That one inside. Make the count 3-2. Saxon Roberts in his Second full inning of work after relieving Caden Harris back in that 6th inning. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Douglas punched out. Roberts brings the velocity for out number 1.
Roberts really beginning to show his spark here. This is why he plays in the SEC, why he is an Auburn Tiger. He's really been able to find that velocity and finding his control, and it's clicking at the perfect time.
Coy Tomlin yelling, strike him out, baby. As that's what Saxon Roberts did to Jay Douglas. This next pitch, a cue shot off the bat of Eddie Morales, but it appears they'll be issuing him first base. We're having a conference here between the umpires as Derek Topp thought that that one hit the hand of Eddie Morales. Even though there was a sound of the bat, Tom Sox arguing this call. It could be a big one in the backstretch of this game. As it sounded to me as that ball hit the barrel of the baseball bat, rolled down the third base line, and Saxon Roberts gloved it, flipped over to first, which would be an out, but they will give Eddie Morales first base on a hit-by-pitch.
Unfortunate there for the Sox, and that's something that when the call is made on the field, it's hard to overturn, and it's unfortunate. I credit Saxon trying to finish the play, even though it was really uncharacteristic, and even though that could be a shot of confidence, he's got to just forget about it and keep on dealing. He's got one gone here. Just work through one at a time.
So Roberts facing the 9-hitter Brooks Henderson after that wild sequence. First pitch, swing and a miss. Roberts lighting up the radar gun with that fastball for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Henderson. Another fastball, that one high and tight to make it a 1-1 count. Morales gets his lead off of first. He's the go-ahead runner. Henderson just looking to pass the baton to the heavy hitters at the top of the order. The 1-1 swung on and missed. Roberts using a heavy dose of the fastball so far in this at-bat.
Another thing that Saxon has done well is he's making Tavares' job easy behind the plate.
1-2, swing and a miss. Roberts climbs the ladder, sets down Henderson, and he's 1 out away from working around the hit-by-pitch.
He's really doing well with his control today. Something that has been off and on in his outings. It's been really, really consistent so far here.
Now it's Brady Bowles, the shortstop. First pitch from Roberts is a fastball for called strike. Makes the count 0-1. Roberts working quickly. The 0-1 pitch fouled away. Saxon Roberts ahead 0-2. Eddie Morales with the lead at first base. We'll see if he chooses to move it all on the 0-2 pitch. Roberts out of the stretch. He fires. They called strike 3. Saxon Roberts works around the hit-by-pitch, strikes out 3 Express batters in the bottom of the 8th inning to send it to the top of the 9th. We'll see how the Sox respond. It's the 9th inning and crunch time here at First Bank Park, an 11-11 ball game between the Charlottesville Tom Sox and the Strasburg Express in Game 1 of the VBL Championship. And Landon, we just saw Saxon Roberts work around a questionable hit-by-pitch call by striking out 3 of the Express batters and firing up the Tom Sox dugout. We'll see how they respond here. The Sox will go Anderson French, Hudson Luderman, and Evan Taveras here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, and it starts all with a new man on the mound for the Express and Braxton Pope, a right-handed pitcher out of Randolph-Macon Heralds from Mechanicsville, Virginia, has played in 4 games this season for the Express and pitching a 10.12 ERA, with his last appearance being a week and a half ago.
As Pope finishes up his warm-up pitches, Anderson French will step in. On the day, he's 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out. French kick-started the comeback last night with a big double in the 9th inning to be brought in by his teammate, both collegiately and Sox, in Hudson Luderman. As Pope look to give his guys a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. Pope gets his sign. Here's the first pitch to Anderson French. Anderson takes an off-speed pitch for ball 1.
French has done a really good job this season of working ahead in counts and being patient at the plate. He's gotten walked more times than he's struck out.
Here's the 1-0 now from Pope. French takes for strike 1.
It's only a matter of time before he connects on one that laces it into fair ground or even out of the park.
The 1-1 from Pope. French takes up high for ball 2.
By the time Pope deals the pitch, he's already halfway to the ground. His release point is low. That's because his body gets lower.
2-1. French takes way outside. Count now 3-1. The go-ahead run, 1 pitch away from reaching base.
We saw this last night. French was able to get himself on base, and Luderman was able to send him home. Will we see the same kind of storyline tonight?
3-1. French ground ball over towards second. Gloved there by Castillo. The throw in time at first. 4-3 put out to begin the 9th inning, and Braxton Pope gets 1 on the board.
Yeah, that's not the amount of contact that you'd want out of that, but a little tapper, he probably just caught it with the edge of his bat. Nonetheless, it brings up another big bat in Hudson Luderman, and you got to take it one at bat at a time because the go-ahead run is always going to be at home plate.
Here's Pope's first pitch to Hudson Luderman. Luderman skies this one in the air in foul territory. Count now 0-1. Hokies were a big part of the win yesterday. Maybe the sole reason why the Tom Sox are still alive. Next pitch to Luderman. A few bounces off the chest plate of Eddie Morales.
And that ball spiked well before home plate.
The 1-1 to Luderman. Pope delivers. Luderman tardy on that swing. Now he's behind 1-2.
Let's go, Hudson!
VBL Championship, Game 1. 11-11 the score. Here's the 1-2 to Luderman. Golfed fly ball, shallow left field. Catch is made by McCarter. 2 outs now for Evan Taveras.
Yeah, it's this bottom 2 players in the order that have done a lot of good of the last couple of at-bats. Taveras, a double in the top of the 8th, and Buchanan after him was hit by the pitch. They wouldn't get around to score, but they played big parts in lifting the spirits up. Can they do something here? It's got to start with Taveras as the Sox are down to their last out.
Tie game here, top of the ninth. First pitch to Tavares. He takes for strike one. Evan had a rough day up until the 8th inning where he let it off with a double for the Sox. Next pitch. It's a golfed fly ball down the left field line, but it'll get out of play foul.
It's the right kind of hit, though. If that ball gets fair, that's another double for Evan Tavares and another big boost for the Sox.
Pope ahead 0-2 to the catcher, Evan Tavares. The 0-2 from Braxton Pope. Tavares golfs it into left field, a base hit. And it's going to roll to the wall. In the corner and left, Tavares digging for second. He'll be there standing. And a 2-out stand-up double for Evan Tavares puts the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Back-to-back doubles for Evan Tavares, and we talked about it before the double home run game he had in Waynesboro. He hadn't had an extra base hit, and now he's got 4 of them in what feels like the last week or so.
Walker Buchanan at the dish. As we said it earlier, may not have had the season that he wanted here in Charlottesville, but one swing can change your season or even your career trajectory in the game of baseball. First pitch from Pope to Buchanan. In there for a called strike.
Buchanan's got to be aggressive here with 2 gone. You can't take it looking.
Here's the next pitch from to Walker. Swing and a miss. The high breaking ball enticed the swing for strike 2. Tavares getting his lead off of second. 0-2 between Pope and Buchanan. The next pitch. Buchanan takes down low in the dirt for ball 1.
Good eye there from Buchanan. Seeing that it was going to spike in the ground, he took a step back and held his bat away.
Walker's had a hit today, single back in the 7th. Need another to give the Sox the lead. The 1-2. Buchanan takes down low for ball 2. Count even at 2-2.
It's hard to work back from an 0-2 count, and Buchanan has done just that. The momentum is in his favor. Pope's got a lot of work to do.
Next pitch from Pope. Swing and a miss. Buchanan tried to climb the ladder on a breaking ball, and he couldn't connect. And this game will stay tied. Saxon Roberts back out to try and preserve the tie and send it to extra innings here from First Bank Park. The bottom of the 9th inning, 11-11, the score in Game 1 of the VBL Championship Series. Saxon Roberts on for the Charlottesville Tom Sox to try and send this one to extras against the Strasburg Express. Roberts takes a deep breath on the mound. Undoubtedly one of the biggest moments of his career. He'll face 2-3-4 for the Express. Paul Osting, Eddie Castillo, and Landon Beaver. First pitch, misses for ball 1.
It's a good pitch, though. I like where Roberts is head at. He's still sticking with that fastball. It's what's worked for him all day.
Next pitch, a check swing from Osting, peeled down to third, and they'll say he held. Both dugouts getting into this ball game. Getting chippy here in the 9th.
Saxon just taking a moment to recollect himself. It's a pressure moment, but you don't get to the level that he's at without overcoming that kind of pressure.
Roberts behind 2-0. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Hardy hack from Osting there. Roberts gets himself on the board. The count 2-1. Saxon gets his sign. 2-1 pitch. Fouled back off the screen. Count even at 2-2.
Saxon getting a lot of love from the Tom Sox. He's one of the more positive guys on this team, but I gotta say, he looks very focused when we see him warming up to our left in between innings and stuff, and he's locked in right now.
2-2 from Sax. Is just off the outside corner, or called strike 3. The Tom Sox dugout reacted as if it wasn't going to be a called strike 3. Stood in my view, and Saxon Roberts retires the first batter with a strikeout looking.
There's one down. You just got to keep on chipping away. Focus on one at a time. That's Saxon's 4th strikeout, his 2nd in a row looking.
First pitch to Castillo. Takes a hack and can't connect. Roberts ahead 0-1. Flamethrower can send this to extras. The next pitch is just off the plate for ball 2. Or ball 1, sorry. Roberts trying to win the battle. The 1-1. Inside for ball 2.
His pitches are really looking good, and every at-bat is very competitive from Saxon. His players like where he's at. His infield likes where he's at. It's a scary sign for batters right now where Saxon Roberts' head is at.
Roberts ahead. 2-1 pitch. Up high, 3-1. Castillo in a great hitter's count here on the 3-1. Roberts trying to battle back. He'll step off. Quick recollection of himself. Now he's back on the mound. Working fast. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Roberts finds the zone to make it a full count. Saxon now in a full count. The pitch to Castillo. Down low for ball 4, and the winning run is on first base.
Now, that's all right if you're Saxon. You came back from being down in that count, and now you work it's a walk, but it's a full count walk. That's a competitive walk, and not every at bat is going to be that hard. He's just got to keep doing what he's been doing and not worry about the past.
Landon Beaver, the challenge at the plate. Castillo off of first. First pitch from Roberts to Beaver. Just misses for ball 1. Tom Sox dugout wanted that one. They won't get the call. The 1-0 pitch to Beaver. High fly ball into left field. Buchanan will come in, and he's got it. out number 2, and Buchanan retires the cleanup man for the second out.
That's a big, big out right there. Beaver has been terrorizing the Sox today, putting fear in their eyes, and now you bring up Jake McCarter, who's also not had the best of games. He's 0 for 4 with a walked RBI to his name.
Carter steps into the box. Roberts still working on the bump. First pitch to McCarter. Up high. The fastball for ball 1.
The way Saxon's been pitching, though, any contact that has happened has been relatively weak contact. It's credit to how fast he's throwing these balls.
The 1-0 to McCarter. Swing and a miss. Roberts blew the fastball by him on the 1-0 count to make it 1-1. Saxon's 1-1. Swing and a miss. Roberts a strike away from sending us to extras. Roberts gets his sign. Working out of the stretch. The pitch. Swing and a miss! Saxon Roberts sends this game to extra innings with an emphatic punch-out. Landon Weaver will take over play-by-play duties in the 10th inning. We've got free baseball at First Bank Park.
Well, how lucky are we? Back-to-back extra inning games for the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Last night went into 12. Tonight has just entered the top of the 10th with Perry Hargett up to bat. The top of the order due up for the Sox with Hargett right now. Kyle Langley on deck and Jackson Soroy in the hole. Pope still on the mound for the Express. Who is going to deliver the knockout punch? The first pitch from Braxton to Perry Hargett. Upstairs, ball 1. Perry, in his last at-bat, drove in a run in the top of the 8th, in which the Sox were able to level the score. Currently on 6 unanswered runs at the moment. The 1-0 pitch. Down low, ball 2.
Landon, I'm still trying to catch my breath from the whirlwind that's been Saxon Roberts' pitching. I mean, he has just absolutely dominated the Strasburg Express, and it's been a pleasure to watch and call.
Pope comes set, the 2-0. Perry takes a hack at that one for a 2-1 count. It's a respectable swing, though. It's a good count to swing in.
Both squads pretty thin on arms. Sox warming up a position player in Tanner Shadle. Not sure who Strasburg has available in their pen.
Pope comes set the 2-1 pitch. Right down the middle for 2-2. A strong at-bat working from Perry Hargett. It's a good battle early between Hargett and Pope. The pitcher comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Perry swings and drives that into center field. Going back is Douglas, and he makes the grab to save the go-ahead run from being put on the board, and Perry Hargett will return to the dugout, bringing up Kyle Langley, who blasted a bomb earlier today for a 3-run shot, putting the Sox up 4-2. It's been a lot of happening since then, though.
Baseball is a game of inches, and a foot or so more, and the Tom Sox are ahead 12-11. It's an unlucky at-bat for Perry Hargett.
Pope will deal to Langley. That one spikes into the dirt, bounces off of the chest of Morales, and it'll go down as a 1-0 count.
I like it. Let's go, Kyle.
A plus-plus matchup here for Kyle Langley, the lefty dealing, trying to hit against the righty pitcher in Pope. Braxton Pope comes set. He'll deal the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. One gone here in the top of the 10th. Leveled at 11 apiece. The 2-0 pitch from Braxton Pope coming up here. Here it is. Langley slings and drives that one through the gap. He's going to get himself on base with a single.
That's just the textbook swing from Kyle Langley we've seen all season long. Puts bat on ball, hard contact, and it finds the ground up the middle to put himself on base as the go-ahead run.
Brings up Jackson Soroy, who is 0 for 3 on the day, has worked 2 walks in his other at-bats, and will look to get his first hit of the night. A clutch player, as we've seen so many times this season, even today in the wee hours. We've seen it, and he'll try and replicate his success today, tonight, and maybe even tomorrow morning, depending on how late this game goes. Kyle Langley at first after his single.
Already well over 3 hours of game time here at First Bank Park, and Landon, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun, they say. And that's been this ball game, an up and down wild roller coaster ride.
So time's called for Braxton Pope. He gets a new ball to deal with on the mound. First pitch coming up next to Jackson Soroy. The go-ahead run is Kyle Langley at first base. He takes a couple-step lead off of first. Pope will deal. Takes a look at Langley. Comes set on the mound. The pitch. Soroy drives that one into center field. Going back to the wall. And that one is caught by Douglas. Langley retreats back to first. That one had a lot of pop underneath it, but not enough length. And that's going to bring up Brock Clayton. Tom Sox last ditch to try and drive this go-ahead run in.
I know Clayton was just disappointed with himself after the fielder's choice that couldn't bring Perry Hargett home in the 9th inning. Brock gets a chance at redemption here in the 10th.
Pope will deal to Clayton. Been a lot of contact off of Pope's pitches so far, none of them going far enough. The pitch. Clayton swings on that one. Drives it into foul territory, and it'll be 0-1. Two gone here. Top of the 10th. Langley with a lead off of first. Pope takes a look at Langley. Gets his signal. Comes set and deals. The pitch. Swing and a miss from Clayton. And the Sox are down to their last strike here in the top of the 10th. Langley again, an extra step lead off of first. Pope takes a look at him and deals the pitch. Clayton swings and drives that one into the glove of Castillo. And we'll go back to the bottom of the 10th, knotted up at 11. Saxon Roberts in again for his 4th inning of work. Came in the bottom of the 6th and has been the Sox go-to man from that point on. Now in another big spot with the Sox putting up a scoreless top of the 10th. He's got to do his part now, as he's done so well as of late. He'll deal against Brett Mosley to start off with. Saxon comes set, he'll deal. That one right down the middle for strike 1.
Roberts will face 6, 7, 8 for the Express.
An 0-1 count. Roberts comes set. He'll deal. The pitch. Swing and a miss from Mosley. Quickly 0-2 against the 6-hole man. Saxon's come set. He's already thrown 3 1/3 today. Mosley digs in the batter's box. Righty versus lefty matchup. The 0-2 pitch from Saxon. That one just misses the bottom edge of the zone, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Roberts still ahead of Mosley.
Hey, Saxon.
Roberts likes the signal he gets. Comes set. He'll deal again. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Number 6 for Saxon. And that's 1 gone in the bottom of the 10th.
Well, Saxon just set a new season high with 3 2/3 of an inning pitched in this ball game, and also set a new season high in strikeouts with 6. His previous high was 5.
Now pitching against Joy Douglas, my apologies. The first pitch. Can't locate the zone, just a bit upstairs for ball 1 against Jay Douglas. Roberts comes set. He deals the 1-0. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. Quickly a 2-0 count against the center fielder. Roberts, ball in hand, comes set again. The pitch, the 2-0. Right down the middle for strike 1. Saxon gets himself in this count. 1 gone, bottom of the 10th, knotted up at 11. Roberts will come set and deal the 2-1 pitch. That one sent into fair ground over the third base line. Douglas rounding first. He's going to go to second and hold up there. A double for the Express, and they have the winning run in scoring position.
And nice piece of hitting by Jay Douglas there, and Saxon Roberts can have to batten down the hatches now with a runner on second and 1 out.
That'll bring up Eddie Morales, who was hit by Saxon Roberts in his first at-bat, or his last at-bat.
You got it! Come on, Saxon!
It's a pinch hitter for the Express. It's Logan Duff, brother of Lane Duff.
Wayne Duff, the father of both the Duff brothers, in attendance tonight. What a moment this could be. The first pitch to Logan is upstairs, ball 1.
Logan Duff had 1 home run on the season. That came against the Tom Sox at Show Airport Field.
A 14-4 thumping that Strasburg put on them at Show Airport Field back in early June.
Duff got the start yesterday against Purcellville. 4 at-bats. He singled and struck out.
A 1-0 count against Duff. Roberts comes set. He'll deal with 1 gone in the bottom of the 10th. That one upstairs again. Ball 2. And again, Jay Douglas, the winning run in this game, stands at second base.
Let's go! You got it! Come on, Saxon!
Roberts takes a look at Douglas. Back to home plate. He'll deal the 2-0 pitch. Upstairs again. 3-0 now the count. Really got to reel himself back in now.
You got it! Come on, Saxon!
Tomlin with a nod of approval. giving Saxon the leeway to get back into this at-bat. He's dealt the same velocity, just a bit more upstairs. He's got to get his pitch down. That one can't quite nip the zone, and it's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Saxon Roberts. One of the few blemishes on his resume today. It's going to bring up Brooks Henderson as Tomlin will walk onto the field and have a chat with Saxon Roberts. I believe it is still Tanner Shadle getting warm in the bullpen as the Strasburg bench is getting rowdy and wild.
So now with Duff at first, Douglas at second, Brooks Henderson, chance to be the hero for the second straight day.
So Tomlin walks off of the field. We're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen and don't want to make any assumptions, but we're going to wait and see how it plays out. So 1 gone here, bottom of the 10th. 2 base runners for Strasburg and 1 in scoring position at second base, bringing up Brooks Henderson. The first pitch is splitting the middle for strike 1. And with 2 runners in first and second, double play is in order for the Tom Sox. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Saxon reeling his way back in an 0-2 count in the bottom of the 10th. Saxon will deal the 0-2. Upstairs, ball 1. Now in a 1-2 count against Brooks Henderson. Saxon will deal to try and retire him.
Come on, Saxon.
The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off over onto the Little League field. Henderson will stay alive.
Roberts is making his pitch, though. This is a much better at-bat than we saw against Logan Duff. He's locating the zone, forcing Henderson to try and make contact with these pitches to fight and stay alive.
Still a 1-2 count against Henderson. Saxon will come set. Take a look at Douglas at second. Back to home. He pitches. Swing and a miss! 2 gone here, bottom of the 10th. And the Express are down to their last out.
Brady Bowles, chance to knock in the winning run here. He's had a home run today and 2 singles alongside that. He's also a punch-out victim to Roberts back in the 8th.
Struck out looking. That was Roberts' 3rd strikeout of his outing. He's now up to 7. The first pitch to Bowles. Roberts takes a look at Douglas with a big lead off of second. Here comes the pitch. Right down the middle for strike 1.
Let's go, 2 more.
Saxon gets his signal. Comes set. The 0-1 pitch. That one will even the count at 1 apiece. The Tom Sox dugout disagreeing. 2 gone, bottom of the 10th. The winning run at second base. Saxon deals the 1-1. That one down low for ball 2.
Come on, Saxon.
Saxon finds himself down in the count against Brady Bowles. The 2-1 pitch with 2 outs. Bottom 10th. Upstairs, ball 3. Saxon's got to reel himself back in here
Come on, Saxon.
with Bowles in a big hitter's count with the winning run at second base. Sacrifice plays are out of the question. He's got to hit a single. That pitch will walk the bases loaded with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 10th. It's crunch time for Saxon Roberts.
It's going to be Paul Osting, who's been a strikeout victim of Saxon Roberts twice now. Bases loaded. Winning run 90 feet away.
A winning run in Jay Douglas after a double to get the Strasburg Express going here. The first pitch to Osting. Outside, ball one. Roberts will come set on the mound. He pitches. Swinging a drive into right field, and Strasburg will win game one. Celebrating like they just won the Valley League Championship, but there's still another game tomorrow. The Sox will be back at home at Cho Airport Field at 7 p.m. to try and keep the series going as they take a 1-0 deficit in the Valley League Championships. I've been Landon Weaver. He's Luke Stefanisco, and that's all on the Valley League Sports Network with the Tom Sox. Thank you all for listening.